Unclicked. What the hell happened in BMX? The month of October. Dennis is at wedding number 2 or 4 of the month. He is out of town, so we brought in the ringer, DeMarcus Paul.
It's been a while.
And the regular.
Yeah, Joey, man.
Joey,
getting used to
hot
it.
dog cob.
Hot dog cob. He better be eating that thing with
We had a hot dog
fork.
thread. Sent him a photo from that Blubba spot.
Oh,
He got a hot dog afterwards, but he fucked up and he got a
yeah, the
like a
a plain
kielbasa
one.
or something. No, I got the plain, not a plain hot
Italian
dog, but
sausage.
You got Italian sausage. I was like, dude, you gotta get a classic hot dog. Like,
I mean, you could
and he
have,
was like,
but
yeah, this thing is weird. I'm like, yeah, you asked me if it was good. I had
soon
a
as I-
regular hot dog.
As soon as I came across the street, Antonio had his phone out, just ready to film. It's like, I'm not ashamed.
He would.
Yeah,
As soon as he sees you in the line,
oh,
they get it
man,
queued up
dude.
right away.
He's on top of it. Anything when it comes to media pulling out his phone is sorry to happen.
Well, as always, the breakdown of what we're going to be doing here. First up is plugs. We'll get to that. News, events that happen, events that are coming, videos. Just a couple of honorable mentions, please do. And then Instagram clips. And as always, this is what we saw. This is what we liked. We did not do a thesis. This is not a book report on every single video we're watching, but this is a shit that we think that you should watch in the month of October. As always, shout out to Dale's. We got the new Easy IPAs. They should be, there it is. Hitting the shelves any day now. Absolutely delicious. Shout out to Dale's for, I was thinking about it. It's like almost 2 years they've been supporting us on the
shout
podcast.
out to Dale's.
So,
Yeah, congrats on that.
Yeah, shout out to Dale's. Shout out to Source. And then shout out, well, let's see. Source, we have.
Welcome to Source BMX. I'm Van Hol.
So speaking of, damn, stole your idea.
No, yeah, hardly.
No, yeah,
I cannot
right.
claim the
You
game of bike.
invented so they started
Dennis.
they started dropping some games of bikes on their YouTube channel recently. They also did this checking in with Nathan Williams.
That video was
and
really
then
good.
super good. And then just doing their thing, man. Always something going on. The industry news that we'll get to is obviously, I think, the most, I feel like insider news. You may not even have heard about it.
I think I did, actually.
But-
and I'm interested to hear more about it.
Yeah. So there's that. And then they have their new wax that they came out with, which is pretty funny. No, I don't think they did a Dale's wax, which is actually maybe a little bit of a miss, honestly. But they have their new beer wax out. I think I was gonna try and get some in stock, but or in hand, so we could do a giveaway. But so Source Light, basically.
The Street Ride of the Year, right there, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Killian, man.
Shout out to Killian.
Yeah.
So shout out to Source for supporting the podcast forever, and then, well, not forever, RBMX Forever podcast in recent times. So we do appreciate them. And then shout out to the members of the channel. We suck at Patreon, so if you are on there, I apologize because I neglect you. But there's only like a couple, honestly. So I posted up that any members can get this demo poster, which you may or may not see. I don't think you can see it, but I'll flash it up on the screen.
Nice.
And then I have a bunch of giveaways because I've been kind of neglecting them. Unclicked News members giveaway. I'm going to turn this audio off right now. But literally a stack of stuff. I got 4 different packages.
Sick.
I may just let this, I'm going to actually pause us talking and I'm going to let this video play. An Odyssey Antigram hub, cassette, some Monster glasses, bunch of stickers, BSD shirt, a Dale's package. Needs to be 21 and up, I assume, for legal purposes, through some Sweet Leaf Alienation gloves in there that I have. So 21 and up on those. And then prize pack number 4, Alienation stem. And then one last kind of limited edition joint, some Etnies rad collab shoes, limited edition. I was gifted these, so they are size 13. So this is available for members only as a thank you. In order to win these, I would prefer to see a size 13 shoe. You got to win this Dale's package. I definitely need proof of age. Need to be 21 and up for that, but this is open to any member of the channel as a thank you for being a member. We will also be including our new DeMarcus posters that we have not put out yet, and then some stickers and some shirts and stuff from us, of course. So we'll even throw a Volker poster in there for you. That'll do it. Thank you. Shout out to the members. I appreciate you guys. And we'll go ahead and get into the actual stuff that happened in the month of October. All right. I feel like I talked already too much.
No, you're good. Got the rad etnies in there.
Yeah. So those are size 13. So it's
man.
they were for me, but I'm not going to do anything with them. So if you got that's what I say in the video. If like you got that size 13, send me the photo, and then I'll send you those shoes. You got to be a member with a size 13. So. And if they don't go anywhere,
rad, yeah,
they are cool. So no pun intended. No.
Yep. Right? They're rad. Do you know what I'm saying, Joey? You don't even know.
So disappointed in you.
Right over my head.
Over your head. They're rad collab.
Right.
The red ones too, right? The red and blue.
Yeah, red and blues and stuff like that. So they are cool. They're a little loud for me. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
So should we get into your guys' thing? Is it on this list right now? Where am I?
Probably not.
They said that they put this on here, but I didn't really check.
Is.
Where is it?
Events.
Events. Oh, events that happened. All right, nice. Cool.
Silva. Bing.
So
Burrow
obviously for the
Valley.
people that don't know, Joey and Demo here. I'll let this play in the background, but Joey and Demo are low numbers.
Gmo. Yeah. Low numbers. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this really kind of spawned from the Game of Bike event that we did with Dennis earlier in the year. And DeMarcus and I, like I said earlier in the previous podcast, we were just kind of tossing some ideas around, and Billy's name came up, and this idea kind of snowballed. And the more we talked to people about it to see if they'd be interested in working with us, the more energy and hype just built up around it. And then, it happened, and we filmed it all in 2 days. And we had like 5 riders go each day. Mm-hmm. And it really couldn't have gone any better. It was like, it was super good. We had like little plan Bs if like we got kicked out of spots or whatever, but we never got kicked out of spots. And when they first like published the extended forecast, when they first published the extended forecast, it looked like there might be rain or a chance of it. And so I was like, oh God, like we had like, I just had that vision of like getting rained out. And then in a weird way, as the forecast was, went from 10-day to 7-day, 5-day, it got better and better and better. And then it was like, in a weird way, that kind of like relieved the pressure. It was we're going to actually get a chance to do this. Yeah. And then everybody showed up, everyone was down, and a couple of the guys were pretty beat from Dawn of the Streets.
Such as Brett Silva himself.
Brett was pretty beat. I mean, and
on top of that, him and Tom never met each other. Like, so that was their first time meeting each other and working together.
Yeah,
that's Tom to win, right?
Yeah.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, and they had a great time hanging and riding and filming. So that was cool.
The fact that 3 days was this 3 days after?
Yeah, this was Tuesday.
That's
insane. The first one started. Right. Yeah, it was
even
Tuesday.
Like in Chad Road too on that first day, which was a Tuesday, and he was pretty beat up.
They say hurt both of his ankles and stuff. So
so like he wasn't even sure like the day before if he was gonna feel up to it, and then the morning of, he's like actually woke up feeling pretty good and was able to get it together and go, and it was like, man, like everything just worked out, and like the challenges, like we kind of thought of some cool ways to do some new challenges, and little ideas popped up, but there was really no like curveballs or anything that was unplanned that happened. It was really good, and everybody had a really good time. They were really stoked on the event, and like a few of the guys said at first they were a little bit overwhelmed because we sent out like a little roadmap that had all the challenges. And they were like, Chad was like, what the hell did I agree to? He's like, but as we got going,
especially coming from California too, where it's
totally.
And
like, but as we got going, they were like, they said like, oh, it was so fun, and
that's
they got hyped on it, and it was like a cool event, so hopefully we're able to get enough support and like not lose money from the whole process, and then we can definitely do it again and build on it. And we have a like really good group of sponsors, and everybody seemed really stoked to be involved. And so
cool. You want to give them a shout out, because obviously they are the ones that fund this and let you give back to the...
Totally. I mean, like I said, we haven't raised all the funding that we need to, pay for the event, but they are absolutely the reason we were able to do it. Like they, we basically got like the first half of what we need and from them, and we're able to pay, the riders and the filmers and actually make it happen for the most part.
Yeah.
And those guys, Rickson was is the title sponsor.
New company.
New company. Yeah. Billy and Dan ride for them, which is awesome. Yeah. And a few other awesome riders. And then we have Troxis e-bikes, which is actually a local e-bike brand. They're right around there.
I was going to go to Rickson while we're here, since we were going to talk about them next, so we might as well just...
Yeah, they're sick. I mean, they're brand new. They're less than a month old, but the timing, the stars kind of aligned as far as this event that was really unplanned. But they, as we were looking for sponsors, they kind of let us in on this plan to launch this brand, and they were like, we'd be stoked to, be the title sponsor. And so it was like really unexpected, but also really awesome that, it was like a new brand in the sport, and also one that's based out of the East Coast. So
yeah,
it really lined up. And, obviously Billy's new sponsor, and he's the host. And
yeah.
Dan's part of the event, and he's a main rider as well. So it just really was awesome.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, it's surprising to see that they have the Bike Life dudes on there too, but it is BMX. Like,
and they hit the ground running.
Yeah.
So it's sick. And then we also had Troxis, which is like, they came through. They sent a couple e-bikes out for like filmers to use if they wanted, and we weren't really sure like how that was going to blend in with the event.
I saw you had the post, so
so that's
e-bikes. The bike there, and they actually worked awesome. The guys were super stoked on them.
Yeah.
They were able to sketch with them and stuff, and so it was a cool little layer to add to the event and involve a sponsor. And
Ralph
Sinisi rode the train for the first time in 15 years.
Awesome.
15 years?
15 years,
That's amazing.
And then, of course,
when you had that many cars, why would you ever take the train?
Yeah, you're right. I didn't know he had so many cars. Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because he was like, it's all, having your own space and this and that. We're like, nah, it's chill. And then, I swear, the second stop, we got on the train, second stop was just like an avalanche of people.
Just swarmed him.
Totally filled around him. I was like, oh my God. And you could see him just sweating it. It was And then also we have Kink. Odyssey. They've been super awesome. We have Meserol shop as well.
Meserol.
And they were super supportive. And we had one of the challenges go over to the Meserol shop. And like I said, Kink was super helpful. And Sunday Odyssey, they've been,
super good, supportive from the beginning, I'm sure.
Always, So it's been awesome having those guys, behind us and really motivating.
Too, it's pretty tricky. Like, if you kind of present this idea to companies and like the way we were presenting it, it's like, oh, it's going to be on Billy's channel. It's like, I can see why some people would be hesitant, but the good thing about it is they gave everybody a chance. It was like, all right, we're down to hear it out. We're down to figure it out. And they worked with us to make it happen. So shout out to them for taking the chance with just even that being on like such a different, I guess, channel or outlet.
It is crazy because it's like, if I feel like we kind of got lucky with ourbmx because we were off of the back of Ride Dying, which like everybody knew, and then we started something new, so it got a lot of momentum from the beginning based off of like who we were. And then now, if we were to just like kick off a media company out of nowhere, it would be such a brutal road to get somebody, so it's got to be hard to like create.
That's a good part about it. It's like, I guess we can all use our connections or whatever, but the good thing about it is you don't know how it's gonna go. But willing to take the chance and kind of like take the no's with the yeses, and like if you get more no's than yeses, it's still just as good, because it's like, I don't want to walk into it and just have it, but we should deserve that, like earn that position. And just
Well, and for us too, it's like we're not, and a lot of times in the past it might be a bike brand or a clothing brand that might be hosting an event, so they're kind of doing double duty in a way. For us, it's like we really want to start doing these collaborative events and hosting our own events. And so, what I told the sponsors, like, it's in our interest that everyone benefits, that we respect those lines. We realize Billy has sponsors, and those aren't the same as some of the event sponsors. And so we need to, have those distinctions and make sure that each brand gets their time to shine. And our whole thing is trying to bring these different elements of the sport together. It's like, Billy has a really great audience and has this unique thing that he's built over time. And, we're all friends. We have friends that these amazing talents, you know, and then we also have friends at brands. So it's like, hey, you know, these
can we
brands,
connect
these
these
guys
dots?
have
Yeah.
jobs
Yeah.
that they have to market their brands. We have these awesome riders coming together to, you know, do their thing on this big channel with a big audience. It's like, yeah, let's try to put all these pieces together and do it in a right way that everyone benefits. And if we can find that equation, then it's like we could just go from there.
Yeah.
You know.
So it was interesting watching everybody, like, if you look at the clock and at the very first spot when everything was counting down,
everybody was there, right?
everybody was there, and this is the first day. And as we were like, go, everybody went, and we were like, oh, it's
Yeah, like,
happening.
win
It is.
and go
And it was like, okay, everybody's going at it right now.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
I
this
can't
is-
give away
this is
too
the
much
beginning,
stuff, but
right?
yeah.
And what was cool too is we decided, you know, through the planning that we should end at the same spot too. So the group kind of got back together at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that really worked out well. That was like, you know, a really nice way to start and stop each day. And then in between, you know, we would cross paths with different groups, and it was fun getting updates and, you know, hearing what people were doing and how far along they were. And
Yeah.
we had I did a few random challenges in there that I thought were they were just kind of not throwaway ideas, but, you know, Andrew from Mesrol, I have to give him credit. He was like, oh, it'd be cool if, you know, the guys could come by the shop and get a tattoo, you know, and I was
Yeah,
like, oh, that would be
tattoo was a
awesome.
good
I would have
idea.
Yeah.
never put a tattoo on there. I
Yeah.
just wouldn't have thought to ask the guys to do that. And then the logistics
Brett
changed.
ends up doing it. I don't know who else does,
Well,
obviously. But
I mean, we don't want to give it away, but majority,
It was,
like it turns into
it gets really sick.
it was awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Well, the tattoo shop. So it turned into, you know, probably best if tattoos are done at the tattoo shop rather than the bike shop. So then we did a different challenge for Mesrol, but we did, you know, that did create a connection with this tattoo artist at a shop.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, you know, if we can do it, I'll put you on the list of challenges, and maybe we'll send guys through. And they ended up getting so many tattoos that they're like,
Yeah,
you
it
guys
was
got to
sick.
come through for free tattoos.
Yeah.
Me and Demo got
Joey
free
got
tattoos.
Joey
on the
got his
last
first tattoo.
hot
Yeah,
dog.
I had to. Yeah,
No,
it was
that- oh, dude,
That was a hot
think
dog.
about it. It would have been amazing.
a hot dog
Oh,
and a
that would've been
cheeseburger arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Arm wrestling.
I was. I love New York.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Like Clausen got the same thing.
Yeah,
Demo.
yeah.
A few of us got that, but
The crew of dudes was in here somewhere, so it's not too much of a secret
No.
anymore.
No,
It
no,
says
no,
it
no,
pushing
no.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've
So
been-
who are the 10 riders? Obviously, Brett.
So yeah, we got Brett, we got Dan Kruk, Chad Curley, Garrett Reynolds, Matt Clausen, Matt Nordstrom, Matt Miller, Joe Jarvis, Harrison,
And Felix.
and Felix.
Oh, cool.
So
yeah.
stack crew, and then
Yeah, that
filmers we have.
I didn't know
Tony-
about
Tony
I didn't know
Innes.
about Felix, and I didn't know about. There was one other one I didn't know, but that's cool.
Eric
That's
Jarvis.
it.
Or Joe Jarvis.
Jarvis, I think was the
Yeah.
other one.
Jarvis was one of the first guys to jump in, which was awesome. And then Felix, we had Casey Starling was going to do it,
Oh.
and then I think something happened. Something came up, and he had to go, you know, do something.
Yeah.
And then
We had a
So
good
then-
list running around for a while. Like we've been going back and forth trying to figure out who would like to be a part of it, and it got pretty tricky. But at the same time, we were like didn't want to step on toes of like Dawn of the Streets, but
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to make sure like, well, since these guys will already be there, we can see if they want to be a part of it, because I mean, Dawn of the Streets is Dawn of the Streets.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
another sick event that happened.
Yeah.
So it ended up working out good. So those
Cool.
guys, and like some of the guys did confirm last minute, because I mean, like you said, Casey had something come up and was like, all right, who could? Then a few other people was like, oh yeah, I'm down. It's like, oh, perfect.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. That's
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Well, that was like Felix. We had heard from, we'd reached out to early on,
yeah.
and then like just didn't hear back. And you know, we don't even have their contact. A lot of times we're just DMing, you know, so it's like
Yeah.
it takes a minute.
Yeah.
And then we kind of had the list settled, and he wasn't part of it. You know, it's what it is. And then when Casey backed out, then, you know, we were kind of floating some names as like potential people to reach out to.
Yeah.
And then he had heard, hey, I heard Casey backed out. So he reached out. We're like, fuck yeah, dude. Like,
That's
feel
it.
like to jump in. And then
Yeah, on
oh,
the
man.
first day, like when Brett and everybody else were filming, we were on the ferry to go to Staten Island, and Felix and a few of his friends from Germany they were on the ferry as well, just sightsee.
Yeah,
They didn't have their
yeah.
bikes or anything, but it's ended up like they watched some of it happen, and it was like Felix is in the second day, so he was at the last spot, like
That's funny.
watching
That's
everybody. It's
funny.
like, oh, this is kind of cool because he got to see it.
Yeah.
And I think too, people were skeptical at first. I mean, I don't blame them, but I
Well, like
I
a game
can-
of bike is easy to understand.
yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
everybody
exactly.
knows what that is. So
should've-
this is like something a little bit new.
I brought a bunch of shit and then I forgot it. Sorry, my kids were taking bath and it just
Yeah,
got hectic
yeah.
right as I was leaving.
Yeah.
But we had built out basically a little road map that had the 5 checkpoints. So basically, all it was there's 5 checkpoints, one on each borough. They start in the Bronx at one of the checkpoints, and then
Go to Queens,
and then they go to Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, and then Staten Island, and we end in Staten Island, and then throughout that whole process, there's optional little time saver challenges that are kind of like scavenger hunt type things.
Yeah.
And so they just check those off the list as they want. And one of the things was the tattoo. The other one that turned out to be, a blessing in disguise or whatever you want to call it was I put in the blackout thing where I was
Yeah.
like, oh, if you black out
the
everything,
thing, yeah.
you get an extra 45 minutes off.
Yeah.
And so there was a few guys that were like, we're doing everything.
Thing,
and
yeah,
then they
doing
blacked
everything.
out the whole list,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
like awesome, because like one, and that was the other thing too, is like one of the, like we kind of said in the beginning, like, hey, have fun with it. It's not completely black and white. It says, oh, do a flatbed trick or or get a clip on a flatbed trailer. But if you see like something that's sort of flatbed trailer-esque, but maybe not exactly a flatbed
Yeah.
trailer, like that's fine. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
qualifies.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we're not trying to like nickel and dime
Yeah.
you or whatever.
Billy pops out of the bushes.
Yeah.
Exactly, like a ref or whatever. Or like, we had in there like a rain clip and it was like, hey, if you find someone with a hose or you do whatever,
Yeah,
like
it's
yeah,
like
that
utilize
counts.
it.
Water clip. Yeah.
Right.
Water
And so,
clip, yeah.
exactly. It turns into
Yeah.
a water clip.
Yeah.
So it's like, but that was cool because the guys are like, they're seeing all kinds of things that like, oh, could this apply? And then
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, like, it's
Stuff
just like,
that they would naturally do anyway, like as far as like filming. But the good thing about it is like I wanted them to know that they will make this cool, not us. It's
Yeah.
like the people that are participating
100%.
in
Yeah,
like
how they
them,
approach it.
them, like it's not us to make it like a cool event. It's up to them. Not the pressure put on, but like because you guys are participating in it and enjoying it, it makes it cool.
Cool.
So, yeah.
the thing for us was just trying to find that good balance where it's like, oh, these challenges are fun but a little bit hard, and then you know what I mean, like just
Yeah.
that right balance of like difficulty but also achievable to where they they actually go through and participate, which it really seems like they did.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they everybody who did it really had a good time. And I mean, like you can tell from the list of riders, like they're all seasoned pros that have been involved in like every type of event that you
Yeah.
can imagine in BMX. So like for someone like Garrett and Tony, Felix, like just like those bigger names, like to sign on and then also be like, yeah, this was fun, this
Yeah,
was
be
cool.
down
You're like,
for it, yeah.
oh man, that's awesome. That means the world. Because like
Yeah.
I've been to my fair share of BMX events, but not involved like firsthand, and I've not been, I have not had even close to the experience they've had, but now I'm trying to, we're trying to build these events.
Yeah, it
and-
makes
and-
sense. It makes sense that at points you question it. Like, is this cool or not?
Right,
Like,
right. And
I
so
guess like the aspect
yeah.
that the way I approach this is like we're not trying to make anything cooler than another event. It's more so we're just contributing to
something different
BMX.
is cool.
So it's like there's
Yeah, you're
multiple
already
things
starting
that
off.
like, oh, there's so many different events, and it's like we just want to add another one to it.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. Because it's like, you could say, oh, why not do more of a traditional video contest or a traditional contest where, yeah, like they film a video over a period of time, or maybe they go out and do tricks that, like they film a run of some kind. It's like, well, those events exist.
Exist,
And those events are sick, like the more traditional style events. Like
Yeah.
this isn't meant to replace those.
Right.
It's just something else. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
And dude, like I wanted like you're a car guy. Like
I have a car.
yeah, you're a car guy in a good way. So the name Barrel Breaker Rally. Can
Oh.
you take a guess where that came from?
No, I have no idea.
All
Like,
right,
is it like a gumball rally thing? Oh,
Perfect.
okay, all right.
So that is literally it was based off of that.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was like, oh, Gumball Rally. Me and Joey like talked about it, and Joey brain started to working. He was like, oh, it was like perfect. But
Yeah,
it's like
kinda
ended up being
snowballs
really
like that.
good because like I don't think he really knew what Gumball, but like he heard about it, I'm sure. But like bringing it back around, it was like if you know rally, then
Yeah.
you think of Gumball. So it's like.
Right.
It's a good.
So
help with the format.
the videos are dropping every Tuesday on Billy Perry's channel.
Yeah, at 11 a.m. Eastern.
11 a.m. Eastern, so kind of early morning, 8 a.m. here.
Yep.
Every Tuesday, there's one video down. There's 9 to go.
That's right.
Oh,
And
up
is
to
there
Christmas Eve.
maybe another one after we recap one or something?
There must be something like that. Yeah, we're gonna have to do
something like that.
We're gonna definitely post
Yeah.
like the actual, the actual standings of everything, because there's a few things in there where like best tricks get certain deductions. So like we would have to decide on who the best tricks are and add those into it. So
I figured it was kind of running tally almost. Like,
it is kind of running tally. Yeah.
All right, we'll move on.
Yeah.
Like,
But anyways,
we're pretty
check it
deep.
out.
So check out Burrow Breaker Rally. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Joey. Shout out to Demo.
Thank
Low
you.
numbers.
Thanks
Follow
for
you
letting us
guys,
come
and
on
then
here.
the Patreon thing is still going too.
Yes,
right?
definitely.
Let's,
Patreon's a huge help. If you guys are, able to help support us make these events happen.
let's see if I can bring it up. But
Sending out shirts soon. We got to get them
So there we go.
photographed and posted.
and then I will add that in there. I can't spell
Yeah.
Burrow on the fly. That's
Hey, you're not by yourself.
No, it's just
rough.
BOR and then ROUH.
well, somebody else spelled it wrong. I didn't write that.
Did Albert write that?
Oh yeah, that is
Probably.
wrong, but that's okay. I only know because I spelt it like 10,000 times. In the last
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't know.
No, I spelt it exactly like that in the beginning.
So what is next? We talked about Rickson a little bit, but they had their first video as well.
did.
So we'll run through this. In
Canada, right?
Squad, yeah.
Toronto.
And then,
Go see the boy Chijo.
yeah. So, I mean, for almost 5 minutes, and this is their intro. Just as you said, he hit the ground running. Mike Brennan, obviously, the figurehead of it started Merit with Sean Curran.
Yeah.
Teaming up with Billy to start Rickson now, and then they got this full squad. It's sick to see like Jack Henneke get hooked up. He's so fucking good.
He is
Dude,
really good.
I was kind of.
He's from California originally, right?
He's from like Riverside area.
He's so sick.
So-
Where does he live now?
I think
Out there.
I think so.
Is
Is he on East Coast now?
Yeah, he's East Coast. He's
Oh,
been in East
shit.
Coast for a while.
Yeah. Because he was at like Turkey Jam last year, so I figured he was still out this way.
Interesting.
No, he's out there.
Yeah, so
I think he works at Merit. Like I think he works at the building or warehouse.
So 5 minutes of that. Obviously, we checked out the site already, and then while we were checking out that site, we talked about Jake Rutkowitz, I think.
Say who knows?
Yeah, I always say his Instagram name, Jake Rutkowitz. He was the one that left Shadow and Sabrosa last month, and so he is on Rickson. I don't know how
Congrats,
I just zoomed
Jake.
in like that.
Shout out to you, Jake.
Yeah, so that's
Nice.
sick too. I like just zoomed in somehow on my computer. That was very weird.
That's like me using
Apple
my computer.
Plus.
I do not know how to use it.
Yeah.
Apple Plus.
What's that?
That's how you zoom in.
No, that. But I'm
Plus, what
like
are you
already.
talking
I was
about?
already
Right
at
there,
100%.
dude.
It just punched in like weird. No,
See?
it punched in
Right
weird.
there.
So you
It
press
looks
Apple
different
Plus
than
will
normal.
Zoom in. Apple minus zooms out.
Yeah.
I know.
You're welcome. You
Yeah,
learned
I'm
something
very
today.
thankful. If you can write all of those down and put it on a little sticky note, I
Shortcuts,
will
baby.
put it on my computer and use it because I'd be lost. I just don't know what I'm doing.
Until they change it.
I'm so used to the iPhone, man.
Adobe changing keys.
So in industry news, Source and Shadow Sabrosa merge.
Source.
So did Ron Bonner
Yeah.
own
so
those guys?
Sparky's basically distribution, which is
So
like
did he sell
Sparky's.
then to? Did he sell the company? I guess.
So
to-
those are the questions. So basically, two powerhouse entities spanning three countries emerging to navigate the ever-changing global market to evolve the way bikes are made and sold around the world. The biggest goal is with this new business model is to protect and grow the independent bike dealers while also building brand marketing and events. So Sparkies include Shadow Conspiracy, Sabrosa, Rant, Shadow Riding Gear, and then Sparky's Distribution. And then they have merged with Wheels of Steel, which is basically Source BMX's like parent company, which is owned by Rich and Mark Moore essentially.
Okay.
And then so that's Source, Snap Distribution, Stay Strong, and then Battle Events.
It does say
so-
midway through that it was Ron's idea.
Yeah.
And it does look like it was a merger, not a buyout. So,
So
it does look
it
like
is-
he's still involved. I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't know that. I mean, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like he owns this percent or something like
Sure.
that. But if they are basically what a merger is they are one company now.
Okay.
So I assume that Bonner owns part of Source,
That'd be crazy.
And the Source Brothers own part of,
Right.
because they both own the same company.
Right. And I wonder what that means.
He wouldn't do the deal and be like, I own nothing anymore. So
Yeah.
he
That's
has
why I was curious.
some sort of percentage of Source BMX now.
Right. 'Cause
or
Ron-
Wheels of Steel.
He's always like one of those
you know?
big industry figures, like a Moeller or like, like that kind of a figure in my mind, in that corner of the country.
And it seems like if,
So
if
for him
they've
to-
had a company for so long, it's like they know what they're doing, and I think like
Didn't you do
with
you
companies
do UGP?
merging.
UGP, yeah.
UGP was sick when it was
I genuinely consider Bonner to be one of the smartest people in
Yeah.
BMX. Like, Moeller is incredibly intelligent, sharp as a tack, witty. Bonner is like I feel like when I'm looking at him, I'm like,
like the
dude,
wheels
you're
are
on
turning.
level 8 and I'm on
Yeah.
level 2.
Interesting.
Why can't I get to level 3?
That's what I was saying.
You
So
know?
I feel
So-
like they're probably, it's like it's cool because it's something that they see,
And then
it's something
it-
they're making
yeah.
work. So it's like it's got to be good.
So
that's sick.
I wrote a couple sentences after talking to, who did I talk to? Did I talk to Rich? I think I talked to Rich. Rich Moore from Source. So like, I'll just read what I wrote and then I'll recap it afterwards. I definitely didn't expect this one, but thinking back, there were clues that I should have picked up on. My lack of intuition to decide. The press release below explains the gist of what's happening with Wheels of Steel and Sparky's distribution. The press release left me with a lot of like pragmatic questions like that, like who owns what, you know, like. So I reached out to Rich Moore and we jumped on a quick call. Most of it isn't really like my place to say, but it is a merger. It's not a buyout. It's not a bailout. Bonner didn't come to him and say like, "Hey,
Yeah, he
we're
needs something."
struggling. We're
Yeah.
swimming. I'm
Sounds like some
swimming
people
up to
working
my
together to make
neck
things
in debt."
better.
Yeah, it's not something like that. Sparky's was in good standing as a business, which made the overall deal almost easier than if it was like they had a bunch of debt
Right.
spread around the world. It makes buying a company much more difficult. So the idea came from Ron, which we talked about, and as he was thinking of the future of how consumers purchase products and the infrastructure needed to keep pace with how this market is like changing. Source has most of this stuff. I put in quotations because I don't really know what that stuff is. Like they are an e-commerce platform. They have warehouses in 3 different countries like that.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
sick.
like that is the stuff, I
Yeah.
assume. And
wonder
then
how that all
there's
balances
programming and like the software to optimize all that stuff, the Amazon-esque,
Well, shout out to everybody involved.
Yeah,
That sounds
yeah.
really sick.
So in the end, I think I saw comments from bike shops, stuff like that,
Sure.
like not hyped, of course.
Sure.
And then so you could tell from that first line of the thing is like that they do have biggest goal is new business models to protect and grow independent bike dealers. Like, so that's bike shops.
Yeah.
So
I wonder how they plan to do that.
they're not trying to like cut them out, but I don't know what exactly this
Yeah.
means, overall in that sense. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this. If I am not supposed to, I am sorry to the people that are watching this. But I know that like the product is essentially leaving Florida. Like, it's not, the warehouse is in Florida that Sparky's has isn't needed anymore.
Sure.
So it's, their marketing, I think their sales team, their designers and all that stuff are staying in place, but product and all that stuff is now it will be in now Source warehouses.
I wonder
think
how
going
the other
forward.
brands feel about that.
Yeah.
That's what I would be.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't be hyped if Source had an in-house brand though. If I was
So
like,
I mean, they
Would it
do.
be?
They have Stay
fuck no, it
Strong
wouldn't
and
be.
stuff, but
Why not?
yeah.
Why not?
bro,
Let me hear
like,
it.
if you
Source
own,
is a
if you, if
hey,
you
Source
own,
is a sponsor of the I'm joking.
I
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm saying like if you own S&M and Fit,
Yeah.
those are competitors, and now your biggest one of your biggest dealers owns your competitor.
Sick.
So now your biggest dealer is also your competitor.
Yep.
It's a little bit cloudy.
Yeah, and I think it's been.
Understandable.
I think it's.
That's an obvious question that for sure is going to be asked. Like I'm not pointing anything out.
Use the word pragmatic again.
Yeah.
It's been the same with Primo for years because Primo owns Stranger and they're distributors of 6 different
But
other brands.
distributors is one
but you
thing.
have
You're not-
you have
they're
a
not-
you have a sales dude back in the day is calling up and being like, "Hey, bike shop, like I got these sick deals on all these Strangers."
Yep.
Oh yeah, you want S&M too? Like
True,
so
but they weren't
it's always
Tip
kind of
Plus didn't
existed.
sell.
in a
Tip
sense.
Plus isn't a mail order.
No, but they were still selling
So,
other
yeah.
brands. I'm saying that it's
no, like the distro. The idea of
existed
a
in lot
distro has
different
never
ways.
been is not foreign.
I think if anything, I think it's less uncool because when it's online and if they're cutting Sabrosas and stuff like that, it's visible for everybody to see.
Right.
So
No,
before what the other one is a phone call. And you don't know what is happening, but online you can actually see what is happening and what they're discounting versus other things.
You're saying because
their
they're
margin is bigger.
Primarily, they have an online business model, so it's not like they can focus on one more than the other because it'd be visible.
Yeah.
Whereas, like if they're doing the old school way of like a sales rep calling, then obviously
then they could be doing those deals without anybody knowing. So,
that's true.
And pushing things like pushing one brand over the other, where now it's like it's all out there. You can nitpick it however you want.
Well, and those dudes are obviously super savvy and have been able to find that balance.
And you can't alienate all of BMX because how much of their sales are shadowing Sabrosa? If it's 10% and they're trying to get it up to 15 questions. If I was a different brand or like if I was a Moeller or a Robbie or something, that would be my thought. And I mean, for the people, like, don't get it twisted. This is huge news. It really is crazy news. Like for people within the industry, it is nuts. So I haven't really talked to those style people since, I mean, this only dropped this week.
I mean, I would think, Source has probably done well for everybody. So like, I'm sure, it is what it is. Like, and honestly too, I think in general, BMX has a problem of like alienating itself from, you know what I mean? Or like fighting amongst themselves. So it's like, for two brands to come together and those guys, I'm sure they realize like, you gotta, watch that line. You want to maintain, those other brands too. So it's like, I'm sure they're not oblivious to that stuff.
Yeah, and I think they're tiptoeing through this, and even at the end of this, I also texted Ronnie but didn't hear back, and I said I assume he's pretty overwhelmed today, and he did eventually get back to me, and he basically said just that. He's like, yeah, it was a crazy couple days because all those distributors across the world that he used to work with, all those bike shops, those connections that he's had for 20 years are calling him and be like,
hey, what's this?
All right, now explain how this doesn't fuck me.
Right.
So that I guarantee it was a pretty gnarly day of phone calls. So I'm sure they were like, all right, hit send. They were like, you good? You ready to deal with this today? Like one of those things. So another thing that came out of it is that even the first text, I was like, hey, aside from the news, and we could talk about that as much as you want or don't want, I would love to have you on the podcast. And so he may come out. We're trying to coordinate it, but I feel like I've said a lot of names are going to come and do the podcast recently, so I don't want to lock it in.
Yeah.
But I don't think Ronnie's, if he says he's going to do something, he generally does it. So I think he's going to come out here in the next couple of weeks and get a podcast. So that'll be great. I will be intimidated. So, but Ronnie's intimidating. Nice. So I mean, like, and he's really nice, but like he's
BMX.
I need to be on the. I need to be on the same.
Don't be intimidated.
Well, that's
good.
Oh God, it's so
don't
good.
Fanboy.
You know what's so good about what's so good about like that Ronnie's intimidating, and we're talking about like the shift that they're making into like merging companies, but it put everybody on edge about like what's happening.
Yeah.
From how I look at it, it's like is meant to be uncomfortable, and decisions that they make are gonna put people in a situation of like, I don't know what's happening. How do I feel about this? It's like, well, whether you like it or not, some change is good for most people or some people, and that also forces you to change whether you want to or not. So, but the same as saying, don't be intimidated. BMX is intimidating. It's the same exact concept. It's like you have to have to be intimidated and feel like you want to do this respectfully. So that's where the intimidation comes from.
Oh, definitely. I want to be on his level. I want to deliver like and if especially flying from Florida to sit down and
like,
talk for 3 hours.
You don't want to waste his time.
Like,
you don't want to waste his time.
I'm intimidated. So
that's true.
So too maybe the bike shops and all the other companies don't be intimidated, but don't be afraid of change.
Yeah. And
it's not easy.
It's evolving.
So, it's just the reality of it. But
if you get,
I don't want a bike shop.
If you get scared, drink a Dale's.
Yeah,
I heard that.
They might block it. It might block it out for a little bit when you come back to the reality. Like,
so the link to the entire press release is on the
ASMR. Huh?
Yeah, is on the site. You can go ahead and click this and anything else.
What? I was gonna try to do some breathy talk, but I was like,
don't
no
do
way.
it. Don't do it.
My daughter got this thing from
No.
Goodwill, this little microphone thing, and it's like it projects the sound whenever you're talking, right? And she will just eat something, and she'll just like crunch
Eat
into the
into
thing,
it.
just crunch into it. It's like ASMR. She's like, "What are you talking about? How do you?" But yeah. ASMR
So
would be weird.
that's it for industry news. I think that's pretty heavy news. Like
Yeah, it is.
new company launches. These two,
Big merger.
20-year, 30-year
Shout out to them,
companies
man.
merged together. So definitely huge. Sponsorship news. Courage Adams off of Animal. I definitely didn't see this coming, but hopefully I would assume that means he has something else going on.
It's gotta
But
be.
yeah. But nice little message there. Nothing crazy.
I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm just gonna call out Odyssey.
Odyssey?
I'm gonna say Odyssey.
Yeah.
Say Odyssey.
Eclat maybe, but I'm gonna say Odyssey. Eclat, like they're European, right? So that could be it, but Odyssey.
Jacob Thiem on Dan's Comp Pro Team.
Yo, shout out to Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob is he's a
Force.
weapon.
He's
He's
a
weapon.
unit.
Yeah.
He
So,
kills it.
Incredible all around rider
He
too.
is.
Like literally everything. He's not tire riding 18 stair rails, but yeah,
He's is he?
He could,
Utah?
I bet.
probably could.
Utah.
No, he was Nebraska.
Oh.
He
Yeah.
was Nebraska, and then so he was raised at that literally like Cornhucket, like that,
Okay.
like
Okay.
the nowhere compound, and
Yeah.
he lives in Lake Elsinore. He moved out here like a month or two ago, and he's been off and on out here, and then Lake Havasu.
He's always
Yeah,
killed it
so-
on a bike, and it's just like cool that I see more of him now. And I
Yeah.
think like maybe
Yeah.
between like the back and forth and him being in California more now too.
Yeah.
So shout out to him, man. He's shreds.
Shout out to Jacob. Shout out to Dan's Comp. Davey Osgood.
Oh God,
riding-
me and Albert talk about him like pretty much every day.
Dude,
he
yeah,
is
incredible.
ridiculous.
Yeah. So I think last month we were making fun of his like wrapped. He had the seat wrapped with a
it's like
sweater or
a
shirt or something.
Yeah. I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah. So no more.
Well,
no
he
more
answered. He did answer the why he rode without a chain. And
Oh,
it's, like,
really?
obviously reasons he's like so good on the going backwards and stuff on the back wheel. So having a chain could potentially like make his stuff engage more.
Yeah.
But, like without it, but he did have the seat literally wrapped in like I don't know if it was a seat on the bike. It was just a t-shirt, but the
Yeah.
stuff that he do is ridiculous.
Yeah. If you're not following him, we give him reposts pretty often, but
And
yeah,
he's
I mean-
off Animal.
He's on.
No, he's
Animal.
on Animal.
Okay, I was
yeah.
gonna say
Yeah.
it seemed like a thank you.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Like he was just pointing out, like he now has a seat.
Yeah.
Like, he's riding like.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
there it
there's
is. Yeah.
there's a seat.
But he can it just
Some pickles.
Bro,
Timo
it's
loves
pickles.
pickles.
Yeah, dude. Pickles are amazing.
Pickles on a hot dog.
Yeah.
Carl Emmers on profile. It's good. Chicago,
Dude,
they do that.
You like sauerkraut, huh? Sauerkraut's good too. On a hot dog.
Shout out to Carl Emmers.
Yeah, shout out to Carl.
Is
Where's the eye?
right here?
There's the eye right there.
Shout out to Carl Emmers.
Yeah.
I and for being on profile.
Yo, congrats.
So such an amazing brand that has been heavy in the BMX world for so long. Truly amazing parts. Bike feels unreal. Shout out to Vans Bicycle Center for making this a reality through them.
yeah, Vans Bicycle Center is sick too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to
NorCal
Carl, man.
staple.
Yeah.
NorCal staple.
It's in NorCal.
Isn't it NorCal?
Yeah, like NorCal. It's
Yeah.
like between Sacramento and
Oh, Yuba City.
Yuba City.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So.
Nice.
shout out to them.
Tommy Crail off a standard. Tommy kills it. I don't know if many dudes.
Yeah, Tommy Krell's the dude. He rides a mountain bike too.
Yeah. So 8 years I'll no longer be riding for standard. I think it gets pretty funny here at the end. I want to thank Rick Molinterno, Jess, and the crew for supports. Thanks to Paul Rad for putting me on in the first place. I think no need to keep your eyes peeled for any other updates if you go anywhere else. So you just hit no questions needed. Just and then other news, quick shout out. I think I put his name in here. Trevor Smith shot me an email about a Canadian BMX website that he kicked off. Just articles and videos, just focusing solely on the Canadian BMX scene. So wanted to show them a little bit of love. BMXnorth.com. Posh Book Cummings. Well, I wanted to actually do these other ones. Posh one I was going to do last. So Corey Coffey announced that she's done competing. Like, kind of, I don't know if retiring is the right word, but I mean, she's been a staple in women's events. I mean, she's the first woman to ever do a backflip on a BMX bike, like back in the day.
Okay.
Like those things.
Corey Coffey used to be at Skate Street.
Yeah.
I used to ride with her at Skate Street.
Killed it forever. I mean, so she's mom, 2 kids, but she still goes to a bunch of events. I mean, like literally, I think nearly all the FIS events. She was at X Games, and so I think she's saying like, hey, I'm not going to do it anymore. So that's
She's not going to those events.
Well, I think she's going to go. I think she's still like a lifer in that sense, but I don't.
It's
think
like maybe
she's trying
picking
to
a side.
compete
It's like
anymore.
probably that she's been
Coaching
in the
or
middle or like, I
Yeah.
can compete in this one, but she seems like she's publicly holding
I wonder
herself
if she ever-
accountable. Like, I'm making this decision to not
Still
compete.
says she's going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still see her there.
Shout out to Miss
So-
Corey Coffey.
You know,
Skate Street.
Skate Street, Ventura.
That's right.
And then in that same vein, because I went to that China event, I did talk to Durs. I talked to him for actually 4 hours for a podcast
nice.
there.
Oh, sick.
But
Does he
I did,
live there?
no, not technically. I mean, he bounces back and forth, but he's there for good stretches
In
of
North
time.
Carolina?
In North China,
China, yeah.
Yeah, he lives in China. I mean, he's the Chinese.
North Carolina's weird. I mean,
No,
it's
he doesn't.
cool.
He moved back.
It's
That's
cool.
most of the country. On
He doesn't
that
live
side,
in North
bro,
Carolina
Oh.
anymore at all. He's in he's trying to sell his house, I think, and then he splits his time between Venezuela and China.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
okay.
but yeah, I asked him about the retirement because that was our conversation last month. They're like, how is he retired, but he's still doing stuff, and he's just basically doing a tour. Like he's like, yeah, this is pretty much it this year. Like I'm trying to just like kind of do the circuit that I always do, and then when that's a wrap, it's a wrap for me. So,
Nice.
but the 4-hour podcast, it was just one camera in the hotel room, and I literally just took the file from the camera and then down-resed it so it would actually be able to upload, and then I uploaded it for members. So it's up there
Okay.
right now, completely unedited from the first moment I hit it to the time I turned it off, bathroom breaks and all. But so hopefully people
does he
enjoy it.
I know,
So,
like, does he talk about like how he went about that transition?
from retiring.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
it runs
All right, cool.
it runs the full spectrum from the early Mira days to the fucking cash roll to his best year to his worst year
Nice.
to winning, to getting a silver medal or whatever it was at the Olympics, and having to have fucking bodyguards for months and just
Man,
like
that's so sick.
I mean, he pulled no punches, and he was like 100% Durs the entire time. Like,
Okay.
like it literally was like S
Yeah,
my
shout out to
D,
Durs,
and I'm like, I don't know if he could say that. I don't know.
Yeah.
like, so
shout out to Durs.
It's he has nothing to fucking, nobody to impress anymore, nobody to answer to. He just does his thing, and he fucking killed it for so many years. It was a really, really cool conversation. So I wanted to pay him respect as like a 20-year competitor, like nobody.
And for him to make that decision, like this is it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's why
He's 39,
39.
and Showa was like, I did the practice video. Showa was next to him, and he's 15. He was
Wow.
like, Durs was the oldest competitor there by like 7 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Like by a healthy amount, like, and Showa's 15. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so it is,
It's time.
Yeah.
Oh, just,
He paid his dues. So,
oh, it's true. Here and 100%.
So, Greystoke
Greystoke.
magazine, show that. Shout out to Greystoke
Look through that a
for
little bit.
sending that
It's
mag.
really
Yeah.
good.
Who was it that didn't know what it was?
Me.
You. Okay,
Yeah, I
yeah.
didn't
You didn't know what it was. So
didn't.
basically, it's a if you have gray hair and you're still stoked on BMX, this is a magazine for you. I think it's curated by Scott Town.
Oh, shout out to Scott, man.
yeah.
Scott's the man.
And
Scotty
then
Town.
Lifer, and then Dig puts it out. There is a bunch of cool content in there. Here's the Instagram, so you can see it. This is issue 1, so this is issue 2. That photo is amazing. There's
It
another
is so good.
There's
yeah.
another photo of the same dude riding a bull inside in there, just fisheye, and I was just staring at the photo, and they're like, and they made reference to the cover and the caption, and I was like, holy shit, that's the same dude. Like, just fucking.
I will
8
say,
feet,
me
9
looking through
feet.
it for the short period of time I did, like, I like how there's some there's like an ad. I think Courage is in there.
Yeah.
But the way it's laid out, even though like a lot of the photos are super old, it blends together really well.
Yeah. Look at that. Look how sick that photo is, and then that's the same dude airing out. That's like the same session.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
He's got
no helmet, just fucking ripping a dog piss like on some
It
mags.
is the same day.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Same quarter too, just different angle.
Yep. So super cool magazine print. You know, if you want print to be around, you got to fucking support it. So
you do.
Yeah.
You gotta buy it.
Shout out to Scott. Shout out to the crew that helps with that. Seems like he has a bunch of dudes that are down to help out, obviously, from the photo side, digging through the archives and all that.
It's got to be a lot of work.
Yeah. So you can go ahead and pick it up from greystokebmx.com. You can follow them on Instagram and all that good stuff. Links in the old bio machine. Posh book in the same vein. Not officially out yet, but I saw this as being interesting. So a book by Rob Delecki under his Maintain book series that he does, just about 290 pages.
Wow.
About Posh. So if you're a fan of dirt or a fan of legacy BMX, and these are the J-Bone is like the backbone of that scene for so long, Birth and Caddy and stuff like that. And I don't know if I should say that shit.
J-Bone,
J-Bone, but like is from Posh, and then like there would be no Caddy without Posh. Is what I was saying. So,
right.
But yeah, so the book's not officially out yet, and then but keep an eye out for it, and then from there we move to events that happened, and then this is Mosh at Posh from Navaz.
Hey.
So beautifully shot, as it always is. I'll put the music up for us, not for you guys. So if you reason to go check it out. So
why did they end up plowing it? It was some silly reason, right?
Excuse me if my memory is not 100% correct, but it's something they plowed half of it for something dumb, not like building houses, but some sort of thing. So
some arbitrary reason.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now those kids have nothing.
Yeah. Glad you knocked over those trees and did fuck all with
Yeah,
them.
like look at that space now.
Yeah.
It just looks trashed.
Yeah. So, obviously, as that says, Caddy hosted Mosh at Posh this year. So this, the whole thing starts off as a little bit of an homage to Posh in general, and then you could see the same high pole, which is sick. I made it to Caddy, and then just Navaz just crushing it. So always such a good feel, and hyped to see a Navaz video always. So
never made it to Posh. Got to go to Caddy once.
Yeah.
We were supposed to go to Posh on a demolition trip back in the day. Got rained out. Yes, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Posh was just overwhelming. I mean, Caddy's gnarly, and like it's more you can see more of it. Where
Sure.
like Posh is just like there's lips everywhere. There's like you
going.
need days to figure out the lines and stuff. So
there's like few things more frustrating than shooting like a riding trip like that at trails.
Yeah,
like
it's impossible.
It's so frustrating because you see the baddest riding going on ever, and but they're sessioning, so you don't know which jump they're gonna hit. And as soon as you're set up on one jump, they move to another jump, or you think you're finally ready, and you're like, "This is gonna be it." They're finally taking a run. Then they go, and then there's like some random tree branch
that you
didn't see there, and is dangling right in front of their face, and you're just like, I fucking hate this. Like, I'm so pissed. Takes them 30, it's just like, oh, trails are tough. Shooting trails is tough. The Delecki's the man, because it's got a whole book coming out from it.
There is like a learning curve with it for sure.
Tough.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. Like you see like you shoot a lot of fisheye, from the gap, and that's why you just eliminate all of that.
Yeah.
Tree in the way. Well, then not that's why.
Cliche Jam presented by The Cut. So the Ladies Squad. This is over on the Bloom channel.
Is this Germany? Barcelona?
Yeah.
I think it's like a a bunch of different ladies from all over the world went
Yeah.
to this jam that they had in Barcelona.
Santi on the megaphone. Yeah, super cool. Obviously, to have all the ladies together, and then so the video, along with the video, Bloom did a write up, kind of explaining the idea, beginning jam, and then end. So super cool. Just like full circle thing that you can go and check out over on the Bloom. Shout out to Bia and Angie for all they do, of course, as always.
Sick.
And then Feast Shanghai happened, like I was talking about. The finals is 45 minutes long because there was no qualifying and there was no...
There's a lot of rain, right?
Yeah, there was no qualifying. There was no semifinals. They literally...
Jump straight to it.
Yeah, so...
Because of the rain.
Yeah, just the rain. They had to cancel.
Nightmare.
They canceled practice, and then they canceled semifinals, and then they're like, all right, well, it's like... No qualifying either, so
did anyone get to ride the course or not really?
pretty slim, but I think they were, I'm sure they would have loved more practice time for sure,
Yeah.
but I think they had ample practice, like enough. Not the worst event ever, not X Games Japan the first year,
Right.
where it
I've
was
heard.
2 drop-ins for
Heard.
30 seconds and then that's it.
Yes.
So imagine riding an X Games like
Oh,
that.
man.
X Games qualifying.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah.
So I heard it's like, we get an hour, and we're like 2 1-hour blocks, and that's not
completely
Yeah.
different from like
Yeah.
riding street too. It's like riding ramps in general, and they're that big, and hips and wall rides and like all these things, trying to figure out lines. And it's like, if you guys only have an hour to ride, and it's like 10 of y'all,
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah.
I could never, if I was really, 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 really good enough to ride those events, I think the whatever the scene at the practice would drive me insane enough where I'd be like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So many
It's a
close
head
call. Yeah, it's like you
When I
get
was
those
younger,
dudes that
that's a
just
good
drop
point.
in all the time, and it's like you get the people that are standing in the corner and they're like, they want in so bad, but they can't get themselves to do
Pro
it.
practice is gnarly.
Yeah.
Like, it's really gnarly. It's like
It's a different, it's a different world.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I can't
battle.
relate, but yeah.
So highlights from Men's Park, Women's Park, and Men's Flatland are up on our channel. I grabbed a couple of clips from that, and then I want to give a shout out to Sam Grace. Met him, and he was cool as shit the entire time.
Nice.
It's like I kind of messed it up in the beginning because he always wears a full face, and I was like, wait, I literally grabbed his badge. I'm like, wait, who are you? And I was like, oh shit, like but yeah, super cool to meet him. Shout out to Sam, crushed it all weekend. Like, it does, just brings that like different element to the to that style contest, which I always enjoy and all that. And he plans on going to all the feasts, and I think we have a clip of him at the SMP Park
sick.
later. So
He rips the parks, bro.
yeah,
yeah.
Australia, yeah. So and then at the same damn time,
Do they have a feast event in Australia?
they did, because Sam said he wrote it, but because he only went to Montpellier, and then he said I went to the Feast Australia, but that didn't count because it was in my town. So so he's planning on going to all those, and then I don't know if they're doing a Feast in Australia again.
Interesting.
Yeah. I did hear that Feast signed a 10-year deal with China,
Oh,
so they're going to do 10 years of events there.
congrats to Feast.
And
Do they have an
I-
event in the States? Do they have a feast?
No.
Sick.
Makes
that
sense.
there was that course. Yeah. Just because
Canada, no.
yeah.
USA, no.
Where's this guy?
We get everything, man.
Australia, no.
We get everything.
Australia has
We have so
probably
much.
the best.
We have so much, man. I'm
Australia-
very, very lenient.
So
when it
this,
comes to
look at
that.
this.
Like,
Look at this place.
Oh man, they got to be hitting the main places.
There's
Ribs.
look at that.
What? That's the SMP place.
No.
that was.
That was 2 blocks away from the Feast course.
Why wouldn't they just do that? Why
And
wouldn't they just?
it's permanent. And
That's
they
sick.
had a juniors event on it.
And it's covered.
And it was still pretty wet at points because
Okay.
rain was coming in the side. Not an automatic
Hey,
solution.
man, shout out
but-
to the kids, man.
yeah.
Let the kids eat.
Oh, the kids are fine. Why wouldn't you just host it here and save yourself some money?
Maybe the course was a little different. Maybe the ramps were a little
Stop
bigger.
making excuses for these people.
I was gonna say that is one thing too with the limited practice is the ramps are generally
mean,
all
these
the
people?
same. They're the same. Every quarter is the 8-foot quarter. Like
Oh,
you know what it's going to be,
Yeah.
except they changed them for this event. Like
Ooh,
they said they made the
set
change.
up,
They made the
yeah.
change, and I think they all
Deflate
knew.
gate.
But yeah, so like the ramps were like different, but they're going to be that same going forward. But it was
Okay,
the first
okay.
event for the change, so they dudes didn't like actually know the
Everything's
quarters
like
all that
vert
much.
wall.
No, I guess everything was like more laid back, so they were actually kind of hyped on it. But the kid scene in China is
I'm sure.
insane.
Sick.
Yeah.
That'd be
So
crazy.
yeah, they
Step
just
the game up, America.
this park's
That's right.
park's at a mall. It's just next to a mall. Look at it. I mean, look it looks
at
like it's
it.
in downtown. I mean, Shanghai
Yeah, it
is
does,
one
huh?
giant downtown, but
It is. I've never been. I want to go. I just see all the
did you see the spot I rode?
Oh, dude. Oh, man.
Dude, I could talk about it for 10 minutes. I won't do it. But so at the same weekend, Dawn on the Streets was happening, which is insane. I was the only person at this table not there.
Brett did. No, neither of us were there.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
we went there
no.
the day after. We went there on the Monday.
Dude, it sucked. It did suck because I've been to the Dawn. I know. It was kind of lame. It would have been the worst. It's kind of lame that we weren't there. I have gone a couple times. It was my cousin's wedding. I know. What do you say? There's no
Your
excuses.
cousin,
Like,
your cousin
I'm-
too, or what? What was your excuse?
I just didn't go.
Oh, bro, he's a dad.
Yeah, dude.
I've been to a couple of the Dawn events, and they are badass. I would have loved to have gone, and it would have just been a nice way to be out there for a few days before, but wasn't in the cards. I had to watch it online.
Yeah. I mean,
It's such a good event, though. Like, I heard they're moving it maybe to Austin next year.
yeah,
or
he
not,
said
but-
he says it at the end of the video, so it's officially he's next one's going to be in Austin. So I mean, Last of the Dawn, I'm sure he kind of felt like it was going to be the last one, and then maybe the response or the what's that thing where it's like like you'll miss me when I'm gone type thing.
Really,
like
though?
so when he talked about it being the last one, maybe people were like,
weren't hyped.
hey,
No, I think
Yeah.
people were bummed. And,
Yeah.
dude, Joe Jarvis is so sick. No, people were bummed. It sounded like, and it just seems like, man, that event is so perfect for New York, and it just is like hard to imagine. But
hard to imagine it in Austin.
yeah, but then again, I mean, Austin's BMX town, but like New York has just got that crazy energy that really resonates with this type of event. You know? And
yeah.
like, this is like, yeah.
Brett literally.
He did a bunch of tricks I didn't even know he could do. in
I
this.
wouldn't even be able, like, I don't know how
What?
he was walking the next day.
Oh, I know.
Like 2 days later, 3 days later for your guys' event is.
Max Miller was such a beast too. I know they really rode their asses off, and I mean, people want to say, or we're speculating that it's a long ride to go to all the boroughs for the event we did, but like, oh my god, I've been on a couple of these. Austin Augie, he makes a long route. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a long ride. Like,
Well,
I'm not
sure
afraid to pedal.
I'm sure he's saying. I'm sure in his head he's saying that the most important thing is the spot. So it's like, what's an extra mile or two for like an amazing spot?
Sure.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to hear like what was that 2 hands? It would be interesting to hear like what his criteria is for like the spot that you want to take people to, because
Yeah.
it's like you pretty much overtake it, and it's not so much you don't care about it being a bust completely.
Yeah, I think
Did Garrett's bar
after
happen already?
2019
didn't see
he
it.
changed the way of, I think it was 2022 the last one they had before this one, and a lot of the kids got hurt.
Yeah.
A lot of kids got hurt. So technically it really doesn't matter if it's in New York. The reason why I say that, New York is a very, very good place for something like this, but if it's going to be invite, the crowd goes where those people are invited at.
So this
And-
was an invite thing.
Yes, 100%.
Oh,
And there-
this
and-
isn't open to everybody.
No,
see-
the
Garrett-
reason,
because
the reason
2019 that people getting
People
broke
getting
off.
murdered.
you got so many people that got hurt. People can ride, but it's like kind of heavily pushed. Like, hey, if you know you shouldn't be jumping on this stuff and jumping down this, do not do it, because too many people got hurt, and I don't blame him for that. So I think that just New York in general is such a sick place, and like if you never been, if
Watch
you
his
wanna
back
go,
wheel.
yeah.
I'm not trying to interrupt you, but
No, you're good. Just
What am I
rolled
watching?
over it.
Oh,
His
he
back
touched
tire
it?
rolled over it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I bet both hands was off when it did it.
yeah,
too.
it was. He literally back wheel touching.
Let me see again.
Oh, it's so hard to find.
It was right there.
Well, but I'm like at 20. I'm at like whatever, quarter speed now.
You could just go full speed.
Well, you're not going to see it then.
I will too.
You didn't see it when it was slow. What are you talking about?
That's it right there. No, I'm just kidding.
Yep.
Boom.
Okay.
Tire completely
didn't
folded,
see it.
dude.
I mean, I just saw how close it was.
Yeah. You can see it touch like
It
right.
grazed.
Yeah. Then I think we have it in the Instagram clip section, but riding is incredible the whole way through.
Whole way through.
This,
So did they announce then who they invited to ride, or is it just like
he did.
Like
I think it's loose.
if
So
you're
like,
a pro rider, you can ride.
Yeah,
But if
so
you're an
I got
am,
invited to one that was the 2019 one. That's when it was extremely cold, and I was like, I can't ride. I can't feel my fingers. Joey, when I said no, when Joey looked at me, when I said that, Joey looked at me. He was like, "What?" I was like, Antonio.
He's a
prime
pussy for the
example.
cold
He tried a
folks.
double bar, hurt himself. Not because he couldn't do it, but it was too cold.
No,
so
it's
for
just
me,
because you just
no.
didn't have his back because you thought it was too cold
Yeah,
for
all
him to
right.
ride. You were
Okay,
like,
cool.
"Why are you
You're
riding?"
right.
And then he fucking
You're,
crashed.
you're exactly right.
Should have been like,
But
"Here's my gloves, dude."
to be safe, it
lace
was
that
better.
double bar.
I should have gave him a glove.
Yeah,
Let me warm your hands up, man. But
hold his hands.
it's better
man.
that they like he did do the invite this time. They kind of like structured it around that, where it's like not necessarily just ride at your own risk, but skill level based. It's like
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
so many people got hurt. I watched it and it was like, dude, you were there, I think.
I
that
must
year.
have been there, yeah, because
The-
that would seem like a year that I was
Yeah,
there.
they went to Con Edison Banks that year, and then up the street from there is like this like kind of downhill
was it?
start. But yeah, people got hurt. It was
Damn.
bad.
That
Like
sucks.
I think-
just about every spot.
I think it's scary just even hosting the San Diego Jam. You know, I'm like worried. You know,
Those are
like
intense events,
the year
dude.
the year
Those
before
big
the year
events.
before was kind of like peak danger, and I was
You
like,
tried to do the long jump down B Street.
No,
heard.
I did
You
not.
are
No, I-
crazy.
no, I
don't
kinda
blame
did.
you, though.
I kind of did.
Yeah.
I just couldn't decide. No, I literally I was
yeah.
like on this is we're talking not talking about 24, we're talking about 23.
Yeah, 23.
I went around and I took a poll. I was like, is this a horrible idea?
Everybody's
Because
like,
I kind of
yes.
feel like it's a horrible idea, but
It's not a bad idea, but it's like how dangerous that can get because you know somebody's gonna go
Yeah.
all out.
Yeah.
and,
So
and then that's what we
and
want.
Then Garrett, I think Garrett was like, "Yeah, I don't think so." I'm
Nah.
like, "All right, yeah, we're good."
Yeah.
So even we went to B Street this year, and it still got pretty
buck,
wild. There
yeah.
was a couple ones where the dude peeked out of the crowd, and the guy like hit his bars like
that was crazy. That was
25
crazy.
feet down or whatever,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Please." Tuck your fucking bars in.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
idiot. Like you're on the front line. Like think
Yep.
for a moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it can be stressful, and I don't blame Austin for doing that at all. I don't know how the hell he controlled that, but I mean, I guess he got the word out early, but it's hard. Yeah,
When
I don't
people
know.
got hurt at those other spots, they actually got hurt. It wasn't like you just saw I got a bruise. It's like
Yeah,
one dude
yeah.
literally broke his leg in half
Yeah.
or ankle, one of the two.
That's gnarly.
And
though.
you're just watching it like, oh dang, his foot is hanging off.
I mean,
Right,
even
right.
this year, it was like we had the hip thing, and there was that kid that was that was looking at it, and he was like a little kid, and I was like, well, "Where's your dad?" You know,
Yeah.
like I literally, I was like, "Hey, you
Right.
can't jump this. Where's your dad?" And I went to his dad, and I was like, "Does your son actually have this?" Because
you don't. Yeah,
it,
you don't
I
take
am.
that
It doesn't
chance.
really look like it, and he's like, "He's got it 100%." And I was like,
Did he hit
"Okay."
it?
And he did it. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You know, like he did it, and I
Yeah.
was like, but I was scared. I was like,
Sure.
faster.
No, you
I
gotta
was like,
check it.
I was literally like, you could, if you listen to the clips, I'm yelling. I'm like, go faster, take another pedal, like, because
yeah.
I like, don't go slow because
Yeah.
it's gonna be different. Like,
Uh-huh.
so like I was stressed, and so it's a hard game, but wanted to this clip. I think, I mean, I feel like I tweaked about it, but. And other people did too, but I just
Brett
think
tap?
I think this is just
So crazy. How could you even judge this? This is one of those things that was like in the moment. Yeah, it makes sense.
He told me he was like that was probably the craziest or like stupidest thing I've ever done.
it was
But
incredible.
He's
that's
just in the
cool.
moment. Like,
yeah,
I
it's
think I
cool
could
because
do
like it forces you to like maybe tap into that
Special,
ability
dude.
that you have. Yeah,
yeah.
so shout out to Brett, man.
So I was in China, and I had the distinction, I will say,
crazy, dude.
of, and I wish I filmed it, but I got to because I had the clip on my phone before it was live, and I was with Van drinking a beer in the lobby, and I was like, "Look at this clip," because it is like it's like Van-esque. It's like tap,
Yep.
you know, like it's. I want to say evolution, but like a different version of like
Yeah.
Van's bonked to rail, and he was like, his reaction, as soon as he had his reaction, I was like, why didn't I fucking film this? Like,
Right.
like, oh, it would have been so sick to like have Van's reaction to that clip. Like, it is a shout out to you, Brett. Like,
Yeah, Brett is
Brett's
like
definitely
everybody's
incredible.
favorite rider,
champ.
favorite
Yeah,
rider.
yeah.
He
Definitely found
Yeah.
a pretty sick lane of riding.
in a fucking flamed skull cap.
Yeah, so sick.
Congrats on the 10K. Shout out to Austin Augie for putting that whole thing together.
Yep.
And then I'll apologize. Like, he texted me like about, we dropped our video first and not dig, and I just wasn't thinking of it as like a dig event. And we kind of did our normal thing. And honestly, I was like, we were pretty delayed. It was like midday the next day, like where Fred usually just like pounds a fucking monster and gets it out, gets it done that night. So honestly, I thought, I didn't even look. I was in China, so I didn't even look. Like, so apologize to them if they cared. Their video is doing better anyway, so I don't think they care. But yeah, not like
You didn't
calculated.
register.
Yeah, not like calculated. Just doing our normal thing. So because they gave us grace on BMX Day, so it was like, if this, I think of it as Augie's event, not like.
Yeah,
Like a dig
for sure.
produced event, but I also wasn't there, so I don't know what it was like. So, gotta say apologies too.
Keep the peace.
Yeah.
Take it number one. Who do you think?
This is unlisted. This is the
So
yeah.
sick.
Being unlisted.
This hasn't come out yet. So on our channel, there you go. USA BMX Freestyle finals of the year at the core facility.
That place looks so fun.
Yeah.
Shout out Joe Serlin. I think he was one of the guys who helped put it together.
Yeah.
Kier's dad.
Is
There
that-
he is, right there.
right there.
Big man. There he is. Oh, he's the founder. Damn, he really did put it together.
Yeah, we can't hear it.
About 6 weeks.
Oh, well,
So,
yeah, stop
from
talking
Just
about
messing with Joey.
Truck of wood dropped
Oh,
to
what?
finish ramp,
Shut your
and
mouth.
that's riding. So the 6 Olympians that were
So,
Trying to get
Dude, that
That's
part was
props.
so sick. No, he's like, yeah, I was trying to listen to him.
incredible park. The event was super cool. Shout out
Yeah.
to USA BMX.
Making it happen, man.
Doing his
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Borough Breaker Rally, we already discussed.
Huge success.
Huge. Number
It was,
best event
blown
of the
away
year.
how it worked.
Powers BMX 20-year anniversary, looking like
Look at that.
Texas
That place
toast.
looks sick.
What?
Yeah.
So
Where are they out of?
Virginia,
Yeah, Richmond.
Virginia. We both said the same thing at the same time. We both said
Richmond seems sick. Seems like
Richmond is really sick.
scene.
Richmond
I've
is
never
really
been there.
sick.
Does
Yeah,
Crandall
like
go there?
Crandall like has
Yeah.
I know, but is he connected with the Powers guys? I was just
I
curious.
wouldn't be surprised if he.
Oh,
he
came
has
down
to be.
shallow.
So super cool setup. They have that BMX museum, been around obviously for 2 decades, and
A lot of sick
doing
locals.
doing their thing. Chad Powers.
Damn.
Yep. So there's this video, which is 8 minutes long, of kind of everything, and then the clip that I think a lot of people saw. It seemed like there was a ton of people there too.
Oh, that long rail.
Yeah, it was
So
the
sick.
is the curly clip. So, whoops.
The marathon rail.
Was that one longer than the ride being made?
I don't
rail?
know.
The one that one was like 100 feet.
How long is the Sabrosa rail?
I don't
8 feet?
know. Like the
There's a lot of
it's
sex
probably
on
6 feet.
Captain with the bar.
You just make everything look so casual.
Yeah.
That's right.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
He probably could nose mango that rail.
12, 13,
I just saw
14.
Blake and Connor right before I came here, and we were talking about the posts that early 2000s made. That Insta account, early 2000s.
Yeah.
They made a post with Chad from like an early Do tour.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude,
Skinny
so good.
skinny jeans Chad, like,
like
17.
Him just like cranking, like he
Man.
can land going slow, but he still have the speed to just squeeze it out. And it's like, how are you doing this?
Craziest tech
Hot
shit,
manual
too.
note, like hot manual hang
Oh.
5. I was like, it's so good.
I
Like,
think he did like, oh man, he did some shit.
Here, it's
He
right
just
here.
did
We can
so
watch
many
it.
manual hang
tricks.
5. He just like muscling through.
There it
all
is,
that
right there.
stuff.
That one, pop. Oh, I thought it was a double for a second, but dude, this whole run is 17.
The speed in the world. Get ready for this kid. He's gonna
It's gonna be Gray Stokes.
definitely can be top.
It's cool. It's cool that you could do this stuff and be judged on a level. You know.
Yeah.
On that bank,
You couldn't deny it, dude. Like he was so dialed.
Like him and Garrett was riding this completely like very similar, but when I say similar, I mean like not.
That right there.
Yeah,
So
that's
manual
it.
tap
Yeah.
up to hang 5.
Doing it again. Oh my goodness. Nice.
Bestwick win invert and then announcement board.
Kelly won't be doing the 360 double width or the 720 chords, but neither will anybody else be doing a bar spin manual to 180 out straight to flare.
Beep, beep.
Yo, he's not hit.
Oh man, just hike, bro. That's so good.
That was a
double
solid
bar.
run for this kid from California.
So
Yep, that was awesome.
Yeah.
The good old days.
the good old days, man, when BMX used to be way better.
Greystone.
No,
Yeah, right.
that's what I was before the podcast. We talked about it, and it was like the narrative of it isn't necessarily like BMX is necessarily better. It's just different. Like so, they talk about how different
Everyone's
it
got
is a
their
lot of the
era.
time. Yeah,
You
of
know,
course.
everyone's got what they attach to.
Yeah,
There you
mine was
go.
last week.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that was last week. Was the best week in BMX.
Yeah. What was that?
I don't know.
This last week
My
for us
favorite-
was definitely one of the
this
best
cover,
ones. That's
Riding
a nice
that
cover.
riding that spot in China.
I live for this.
I was really happy.
Look at those skateboarders just watching.
Yeah.
I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, look at these twins right here.
Yeah, dude.
Sorry, they can't even see this. What is this?
Oh,
kid
dang,
doing?
that's cool. He's on skates. He got the skates. That's sick.
Oh, he's on the roller skates.
Yeah, that's sick.
It's definitely
Well,
old.
shout out to that. Man.
All right, events that are coming. Little Devil Fest. I think we talked about that a little bit last month. That is coming up real quick this Saturday
Devil Fest.
in Trappe, Pennsylvania.
Like frappe.
Trappe.
I
And
wonder
then
if that's close to Titusville. Is that
Titusville is like
Titusville?
well, I don't know.
that's Florida. Yeah.
No, is it
Titusville's
Where's
in Florida.
Bennett and those guys from?
I know like Little Devil was headquarters
or
in
something?
like Parish or something like Prince Parish, Pennsylvania or something.
Pennsylvania
like
is one of those weird states.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they got a lot of nooks and crannies.
Speaking of Brett, not only is he winning events, but he's throwing events. Man of the year, basically.
Yeah, he is.
I wonder if this is what, because he's been posting a lot of photos like buying wood and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And I guess
think
that's
this
just
is
what
it.
it's for.
Yeah, I mean, it was always at that crazy big ditch where like it had the 40-foot bank and stuff like that. Really cool.
He goes to
looking
New
event.
York and goes back home with a bag and like just
right, though.
Yeah.
Starts
A
doing
man
it.
Back
making
to
it
the
happen.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, like
I love this flyer.
go make this money real quick and like go build all this
It is
stuff.
pretty
out.
good.
Yeah. Shout out to Brett,
So
man.
Darty in the Ditch 3. If you know, you know right now, but stay tuned. Obviously, what is that? A couple weeks. Austin, Texas.
I wonder is it in like
always a good
the
time.
5 hip ditch?
No, I mean it could be, but usually it's at a different ditch. I'd like to find. I could probably tubs it and find one, but all right, Darty in the Ditch.
Boom. Oh, the crazy one.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is really sick.
So. Yeah, they had like
Got
the
the
flat.
flat torch?
They had like the.
The crazy up rail,
Yeah.
down rail thing.
Here, I'll
This
go
looks
back a
like
little bit.
fun.
Aaron Ross on the gravel bike.
Where's Eli Kravitz? I haven't seen that dude for a while.
Oh, I know.
He was
He's
super
so
good.
sick.
Stop cleaning pools wherever you are.
It's like, he wrote for like Shadow or
Yeah.
something, right?
Yeah, look at that.
That's sick.
So they
Sketchy, dude. Already making me nervous. Oh,
Yep.
someone's always got a miss going up. Always.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's so sick.
this is the second one. I think there was something where they got in trouble or something like that at the end of this one. So I don't think it's in the same spot anymore. But
Yo.
Eee.
Oh, that was clean.
That was clean.
It made it look like it was nothing.
So that is next. Oh yeah, the thing in between.
That looks so sick.
That is dope.
Yeah. So shout out to Brett.
Yeah, man.
Darty in the Ditch, Austin, Texas, November 10th. Same day in Long Beach, California, Montecule. Pants, not just pants, but they're throwing little jams. I think they're going to do it. I think he said somewhere.
Cherry Park, no?
Yeah, Cherry
It's gonna
Park.
be
but
a few different locations,
yeah,
right?
I don't know where I saw it. Like maybe once or twice a month.
Oh, like a series.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to that, man. It's
yeah.
like so many different things happening right now.
So first one, Sunday, November 10th, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the infamous Cherry Park in Long Beach, California.
How close did you used to live there? To that spot?
I never really, 5 blocks.
Okay.
4 blocks.
That's not
something
close
like
at all.
Is it? It's not close.
It's pretty close. Yeah.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying. It is close. It's right there. It sounded like he was going to say he didn't live close.
Yeah.
I didn't. It was like 4 or 5
I literally
Instead of play it down, huh? It's like
throw a
5
baseball,
blocks.
hit it, no problem.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I had to. I ran through all the places I lived in Long Beach until I got to one that was close. That's literally what happened in my head. So
Long Beach was an era. That's
yeah.
for sure.
Legends of Fall at the Four Season Park
I think
in
Dan Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Telling me about this.
Yeah.
They have it. I think is this the second year they're having it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Four Seasons has had events for fucking
forever,
15 years or something, but so this is sorry, I thought you said Legend of the Fall 2, and then I'm like, no, 2-day BMX event. So Four Seasons Park, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, November 22nd and 23rd, Bold Jam, High Air, says keg. So foot down, something for the ladies, other jams, Dom Bomb, shout out to Dominic Travato. Where are you just leaving? Are you over it?
Just dipping out. Go to the bathroom. Stumbling all over the place.
Way you just said it like unannounced. We'll just keep running through. Or unless you want to talk shit on Joey while he's gone.
Always.
Bring a can jam.
Bring a can jam.
Yeah,
oh, okay, okay.
White Plains MD. Why is my brain not?
Oh, is it like a giveaway? Like you bring cans
I
and
think
maybe
so.
donate
I think
to.
so.
That's so sick.
Yeah. So where's
Fun for all
Yeah.
events throughout the day.
White Plains? My ignorance is showing.
No.
Maryland. Jeez. Yeah. So, shout out to Maryland.
White Plains could be where I'm from. It's like that's like I would never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't know much else about that if you're actually supposed to bring can, but I mean it says say live music, food trucks, vendors,
Shout out
BMX and
to you
skateboard
guys.
contests. Yeah. So there's
Hope
that.
it's a success.
Yeah. Link to that. Obviously, if you didn't grab the Instagram. Triple challenge. This is not final graphic. He just posted this up to get something out there. I think so.
People gonna come. They're gonna be there.
Triple challenge event. I mean, longest running dirt series currently it's especially United States, but maybe even in the entire world at this
Really?
point. Like for BMX dirt series, like think of another one.
How long with the DK Dirt?
But I mean, like currently,
Currently,
like,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
like
gotcha.
there's
Yeah,
definitely there's
it does fluctuate.
yeah,
It can
so-
fluctuate a lot.
Running,
Yeah.
is that what you're
Yeah, I mean, currently, I'm not talking for all of BMX. Like,
It's like
organizes
BMX
that?
contest.
it's a Monster event, so it's Sean over at Monster. I generally film them. Vish, I mean, the whole squad helped
Albert.
out last. Yeah, Vish,
Shout
Grant,
out to
and
shout
Albert,
out to our Mercado.
Albert.
Our Mercado.
Our Mercado.
He told me you lay this on him every once in a
Oh,
while.
dude, yeah, I have to because he's good at everything, and he just like he'll take it on. He'll make the best of it, and he'll make it sick. So
Albert he's like no fanfare. Like
what was it? He told me he gave him a nickname. He was like the Swiss Army knife.
Yeah,
Yeah, he could just get you do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He's down for it.
He is.
Like if he doesn't know, he's like, "Oh, I'll look into it." And then
He'll
a couple
figure it
weeks
out.
later, I'll be like, "Oh, did you look into it?" And he's like, "A little bit, but I'm still looking into it."
I'm riding his coattails.
Yeah, you
wherever he's
too.
at,
You're on it.
No.
You're on it.
I'm
But
going to Taiwan next week because of him.
yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, I'm riding his
Yeah.
coattails.
still make them. No, not really. My wife would kill me.
Oh yeah.
I've been gone a lot.
Yeah.
When Albert was over here, we like brought it up, and she was like,
What?
"Yeah." So
like,
Huh?
yeah.
you're not bringing up what?
So January 24th and 25th in Anaheim, they're banging them out. 2 weekends in a row, January 3rd and February 1st in Glendale, Arizona, February 21st and 22nd in Arlington, Texas. I don't think anybody...
Shout out to TJ Lavin in there. I better start riding soon. Sick. He's so sick.
He, like, these events have always been the same thing. They are 2 or 3 dirt jumps in a parking lot at Supercross.
1/4 pipe.
Do your fucking best tricks. And that's it.
That's
but it's
it.
open invite. So if
Nice,
you think you
okay.
can clear a 20-foot jump,
That's what's cool about it.
show
Yeah,
up.
It is really sick.
Don't fucking get melted. Have fun. You know, like that's it. Like
I wanna
open
see
invite.
Demo ride.
Yeah.
I would love
I
to.
invite DeMarcus Paul.
My legs
They're
might be able to
they're
take it now.
heartbreakers. They're heartbreakers though. From like
I was watching those
Might be
the
a tough
trails
pill to swallow.
Well, I was watching the trails clips earlier, and it was like thinking about. I was like, dang, I miss
it looks fun.
that when I was a kid, like younger or teenager,
Yeah.
like riding stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's the way it goes. I stay in my lane nowadays. I hang out in downtown, like everybody said.
California, there's
Ride
not
curbs.
not a lot of spots to ride jumps. San Diego.
There is.
You
there
are
is.
so inside the box, man.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You just box every person that may have.
I mean,
trails
I
or
know this
riders.
San Clemente is probably the closest legit.
Is
trails.
it? You sure?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
This fucking guy.
No.
What do you mean? I don't know.
You're just boxing everybody in right now.
What are you talking
What's the closest
about?
place to get a hot dog?
Poway. Poway is a good place to get a hot dog. No, where's that dude's
The hot dog.
7-Eleven.
The hot dog means he was
7-Eleven,
sitting-
bro.
Yeah.
The where's the dude's trails in the backyard?
Escondido.
Escondido.
Yeah. I mean, there's Bearcat.
Those are sick.
Those
yeah.
are those were running
some in
again
Claremont,
for a
too,
little
yeah.
while. Yeah. There's Legacy Trails. It's
Crazy that I know that, Joey.
Gary and I started those
Crazy that I know that.
a long time ago. Did we start them? I don't know.
What do you consider trails?
That dude Hartwell, Keith. It was his name.
Yeah,
Keith
yeah.
Hartwell.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
Those are 420 trails.
Those are nice.
Yeah. So these are not trails. These are dirt jumps
Boom.
in a parking lot. So
Dirt jump in a
do
parking
big
lot.
tricks.
out to all
Don't
the dudes
don't
doing
front
big
wheel
tricks.
case. Otherwise, I'll get the clip.
Is that what dude lost the eye too?
No.
Is that-
Oh,
yeah, that's
it
what
is,
he did.
yeah,
He did
yeah.
lose the eye on
Yeah.
that event.
Yeah. Don't lose an eye.
He did what? Was it the 12?
Fucking 17,000.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
spinning.
Yeah. So
Oh.
yeah. Yeah, shout out to Carl Immers.
shout out to Carl.
With the podcast with Carl was super good. His
Yeah.
outlook was actually baffling. Like
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah,
still on that
smiling.
level
Yeah,
of riding.
yeah.
It's like that's what is cool to see. Unfortunate, but at the same time, like you said, his
He rode
outlook
with
and
it.
still making it happen. And he's still getting hooked up. Like he's on profile now. Like, shout out to him, bro.
One thing I didn't have in here that I thought of because I
Cash Up Jam,
cashed up
Australia.
Did
Who's
they?
going? Was it Clausen, right?
Clausen is going. Yeah.
Clausen is the Clausen is the man, bro. He's another one. Kind of
Well,
like
he got like
Brett-
a sponsorship to
No,
go.
he
or like,
No,
won.
you-
He
when
won
you-
to San
Well,
Diego.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
I meant.
Yeah, Monster because he won. So Jarvis won in Copenhagen, and then so he won a trip to San Diego.
Yeah.
Clausen won the trip to Australia. So
And that's different monster than, I mean, I know it's the same monster, but I mean, it's different people organizing Cash Jam than who's doing Triple
Well,
Challenge. No.
kind of. No, I mean, there's not really that much organized because basically, I mean, besides, I think the Australia one, the whole point is like they used to do street series back in the day,
yeah.
and then the powers that be, lawyers or whatever, floats up to them and they're like, "What is this?" And I don't think they could allow a legal jam to continue, but they wanted to do something, and so they kind of had a workaround of like, hey, if we sponsor existing street jams, we're not really like,
I see.
oh, don't ask, don't tell
Sure.
type thing, like, oh,
Yeah.
I thought you got permission. Like
Right,
literally
right,
they have
right.
no,
They
like,
just
so
want it, yeah.
that was why with like the thing that happened with the school in
Yeah,
San
yeah.
Diego
Yeah.
was like, I wanted to solve it as quick as possible because I
Because you
felt
don't
like
wanna-
not just me getting in trouble, but I felt like I was going to destroy the entire series
Yeah, yeah.
because it got to some lawyer or some like
Right.
HR, PR, whatever
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah, they
So-
were going to put the hold on the sponsorship.
yeah, so I was like, let's solve this problem as quick as possible and as little fanfare. So that was like my thing. But
Sick that they're doing it.
yeah,
Yep.
let
Getting
me.
everyone together. That's awesome. They're taking class in Australia.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, shout out to Clausen, man.
Wonder if they're going to do a little fiend trip down there.
Possibly. They did one in New York.
Bring Tony out.
Yeah, Tony's sick.
Tony is sick. When Clausen got on board with the Burrow Breaker event and then mentioned wanting to have Tony film it, I was like, in my head, I was like, there's no way, dude.
Yeah.
He's not going to want to do it. Or like, and then we got on board. When Tony and Matt both got on board, I was like, holy shit, this
That's sick.
is
Yeah.
a real deal.
So who
thing.
filmed Garrett and who filmed Tony?
Or they, no,
Tony's-
Tony
Oh, one
filmed
day,
both.
both
Yeah.
days.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like,
optional.
when we first got in touch with Garrett and we're talking to Garrett about it, he's like, well, it would be cool, but Matt's already filming with them, so I don't know. And I'm like, but there's 2 days. So I'm
Yeah.
like, Tony could film 2 days and get paid twice,
Yeah.
and then,
Yeah.
or whatever, and then it all
Cool.
worked out great. Yeah.
So I don't see anything online about the Cash Up in Australia, but I do have this, which you're not going to see, but King of BNE, which I assume is Brisbane in some capacity. So arrive at the Paddington Skate Park. It is on November 23rd. And then they kind of have a breakdown of a couple of the street spots that they're going to go to. And then it's going to end at the Lux Rail / warehouse session. And then there's a Boyd video
shout
premiere
out to
too.
Boyd.
So organized by Boyd. And I believe, I don't know if it's just Boyd or not, but yeah. So November 23rd, Brisbane, Australia. And then what's that Lux event? Are they doing that soon? Let me see if it's on here, because I don't want to. We always get shit that we do nothing. ACT. What is this? Right here. Oh, we missed it. We missed it. That's not it. Okay, maybe we missed it. Well, events that happen. Crank the AC Jam. So
It is summer there right now.
yeah. Yeah, it says next jam is King of BNE, Saturday the 23rd. So
Oh yeah, okay,
yeah.
coming right up.
So, but this isn't the one that they were going to bring Clausen to. That's got to be something.
No, the
No,
Cash
no,
Up
no.
Jam's a
That's
street jam.
that's the 23rd.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
I'm saying they don't have it listed. So I don't know. It's just
No, yeah. But I thought the ACT jam was coming up soon. But if it is, I apologize. Sorry, we suck at worldly stuff. Send us stuff. Email us. So that's it for events that are coming. We're kind of going slow, but we'll try and get somewhat through the videos. These are just videos that we thought were cool throughout the month of October. Not going to watch the whole thing or the best thing or anything like that. This is just kind of a piece on Kevin through this tattoo artist, Luke Westman, kind of world famous tattoo artist, sponsored by Monster. He's been meeting up with people within the Monster family and kind of getting their full story. And Kevin is, just a ray of sunshine. So just hearing his outlook and stuff like that is super cool. And just the whole piece is awesome. So 20 minutes long. Grab a Dales. BMX Foo called Andy after the passing of Andrew White. And he has a bunch of cool ass clips in here, but this clip I think
Ain't none of your bikers to fuck with him. He the next biker 2025. I hope y'all ready.
This is so good.
yeah, I actually had this in the Instagram section too, but
What?
it's so good. One more time for comprehension.
Dude.
Do you know who that is? It's
I
on the
don't.
Instagram. So let me click through the Instagram to grab it because I don't want to blow it. But yeah. Idea, execution, fantastic. Who is it? Show me the caption. Zach, Demo, Phil, help me out here.
Zemaniac.
Simoniac.
Shout out
It probably would be Simoniac instead of Z.
Sizmaniac.
No.
Yeah, leave a comment.
Or it'd be
Yeah, but shout out to BMX Foo, shout out to Charlie, shout out to Andrew White. Our condolences to his friends and family. Obviously, it was a little while ago, but cool to have that video out for a little reminder. And where the hell Team Weed go? And then Jaden Fong, welcome to We the People. What was our time code? I always forget the time code. 333. There was the dude that rode for Premium with the same last name, Fong, right? Stefan.
We saw him at the Burrow Breaker Alley.
Did you?
He helped Chad and Wani. He drove him around.
Nice.
Ripping the streets. May have given him an advantage.
Oh, that was so sick.
Yeah, that was cool. That
Spot
was so sick.
usage.
Yeah, really though.
Amazing. one
You
more
don't
time.
sound like it was cool.
Yeah, he said that.
That was cool.
No,
That was
I
cool.
was. That's what I was trying
That's
to say.
cool.
I was downplaying it. It was sick. It was fucking awesome.
That's just your MO though. You really like it, but it's just your personality.
So unimpressed. These
What are
days.
you talking about?
Saying that
So
if anybody's
He
watching
did it
this,
so casually. I just was like, oh, ho hum. Yeah, that was cool. But it was badass. Feeble Smith across the gap. Are you serial? Sick, dude.
cereal, that's amazing.
Come on now. It was
Oh
sick.
my God,
I was being,
really? I
love that clip.
You're
Don't
very
worry.
enthusiastic,
I
but I
am.
know like when things are really sick to you, you do like you're just cool. Like I know that was sick to you, but you're just so cool.
I played
Hey,
down.
emotions are uncool, so don't.
That's
Yeah, right,
You know.
dude.
Yo, you got to play cool. Act like
Yeah.
you've been there before.
Like, yeah, right.
You know what's crazy? You have been here before.
I have
Yes.
twice,
He has.
and it shows.
This is so good.
So this is Felix's.
Fracture.
Yeah, Felix's.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry to talk over you. Keep going.
Oh,
Fracture.
you're good.
You know,
Saying like a
you know.
fracture. I don't know which installment this is, but it's probably like maybe third or fourth. Could be more than that.
What?
But he.
Joey's gonna turn it up on this one when
Yeah,
it
I gotta
goes.
be overly enthusiastic so nobody thinks I'm talking shit.
That was wild. yeah, punch a microphone. He's so excited.
That was broken. That was really crazy.
How
What
he
is
landed was
fracture? Is
unreal.
fracture? Is it a?
Oh my
And he
god! The
switches
pedal,
crank, too.
the pedal hit the pole too.
That
His
was one of
left
those
leg.
ones that you're like in a battle midway, just like holding on, like
Yeah, well-
yeah, and it switched.
It's so sick.
Look at
I like that
he's
wrote up. He's
giddy,
like,
dude.
yes.
He's like, I got that.
He did a lot of really, really sick stuff in this.
He probably thought he was gonna hit the pole and then just.
I think on
squeeze
one
by it.
he crashed. I think on maybe a few. I don't really know.
That?
It was one
Demo,
for
you
sure.
gotta do your hair like that.
Yo,
Just imagine.
fucking somebody stuck donuts to his head.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone shave down because I remember Dennis had the circles at one point, but
Yeah.
they didn't
Yeah.
shave around them.
Dennis didn't do it right.
It's like one of those
This
like
is the right way.
Listen to you.
those
Yeah,
art.
man, you're gonna do it.
It's like those dog haircutting competitions.
He has
He
like a
escaped
poodle.
from it or something. No offense.
Mid poodle
But
cut.
I mean, yeah, I guess it was kind of offensive. So if you want to be offended, that's fine. But
Commenting on
Yeah.
hairstyles.
yeah, that's what this podcast is about. Not about the bike riding. Yeah, fracture. Did we say that? Did we lay it out already? So Felix is like side project.
No, you
Felix
didn't.
always.
That's what I was
yeah,
asking.
Is it's just like him and his dudes basically, and so they do some shirts. They drop a bunch of stuff. I think there's an Instagram and all that stuff too. But Felix is a machine. It's just
They've
like
been doing
one of his,
cool
like,
stuff
things.
too, like shooting
Yeah.
photos, like him and
Yeah.
Jordan shooting cool photos, doing
Yeah.
posts from the trips. It's been cool.
I mean, I almost said it earlier, but like, just like how you were talking about Albert, and then like how you're in his coattails, you said,
Yeah,
and
we're
stuff
all-
like
yeah.
that. But like, you're learning new skill sets and how to like kind of give back to BMX, and
Yeah.
like Jordan and Felix and that whole crew are kind of in that. They're in that same thing where it's like they're doing heavies, they're doing doom,
Yeah.
they're doing
The
they have all
photographers
this-
and filmers are scarce
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah, so they have all these other talents,
Very
and
scarce.
they can't do it
Gotta
all
wear
the
a lot
time.
of
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's the cool thing about it. Is like a lot of these people are talented outside of like just BMX, so you get to see that shine. You get to see their perspective from just more than one angle.
yeah. So Instagram,
Shout out to them.
fracture on the, and then was that the Yub Tubs? Was that it right there? Visions of Light was the latest one. Did we are just making sure I'm subscribed? We are. All right. Oh, it's on silence thing. So so that whole video, obviously I think it was like 13 minutes long, and then Source checking in with Nathan, kind of just a little lifestyle approach to
Yep.
Nathan's mellow, like, his mellow life, and then he goes out and just does like NBDs.
Yeah, very, very
Yeah.
savage.
So that's me.
Yeah, look at you. You knew.
Yeah.
You
I did not-
You skipped straight forward to
Crazy,
you,
right?
dude.
Crazy.
That was-
You've been waiting for this moment, huh?
Really?
You've been
Really?
waiting for this.
Wow.
You've been waiting.
Y'all are delusional. If I think
Y'all.
people watching this podcast need more of me.
They do. They do. Don't
What do you know?
Hey, don't forget you're stronger in person. Remember that. Don't forget it.
Look who it is.
Yeah. So yeah.
When is he not doing something sick?
Yeah.
Oh, you really planned this?
Yeah,
one
right?
out.
Oh,
That's
dude,
right.
you see? You hear me? I was just talking about photographers are
Who
scared.
shot
Now look
those
at it.
photos?
I did.
They look a little soft. They look like throwaways.
Yeah,
I
dude.
think that's why.
Well plugged. Well done, Fudger. Well done. Look at
Look
you.
at
man.
it. He's just
Hey,
all
you saw
over
you
this.
saw that he plugged the
What?
I didn't.
he plugged the poster. He shot that too.
I know.
See?
Clear this up. Let's do the podcast.
Let's do
See?
Nathan, has Nathan ever? I was thinking about that the other day. Has Nathan ever done a straight podcast?
What has he not? Why wouldn't you have him on?
That's a good point.
I don't think he's been on here.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe he did
crazy,
one with
dude.
Dennis. Did he do like the
No,
official
he
Unclicked?
he sat here with Pova.
He
And he's
did.
been.
he
He's.
did.
I think he's been in the chair a couple of times.
that
over
was
the
more
years.
so.
I want more
obviously a lot of
controversial podcasts.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Sims and Moeller. That was
They both
Good
agreed
stuff.
to it. They both are down.
You know about that one, huh?
Yeah, they both are down.
That was a couple
I think
years.
they aired it all
I think
out, man.
no. I
Might
think
have been
I
too
think
much-
they'll be able to talk
Have
talk
another.
about
Have
it.
another Dales.
Too
say
much
some
time.
shit.
I think is passed.
No, like the thing. It's like
both
no.
moved on.
When I say like this won't be, I think what people will think it would be. I think it'd be more so kind of like, oh, you've grown. Oh, you shifted. It's like that's what it would turn into. Because I mean, time
Could get
spent
dirty.
away, it could get
That's what I
dirty.
mean. That's
It
what
could
I'm
get
saying. It's
dirty
a time
because
thing. Nah, I
it
bet
is
you that-
so perspective.
When they
So
were
for the
out
people
originally, it
so
just
can I
was
let me
fresh.
let me preface this because I think it was Brad that hit me up about wanting to do a podcast kind of about sponsorship and the
Yeah.
general idea about it, the roles of a professional writer, et cetera, and I hit up and he brought up
discussion.
Yeah, he brought up doing it with Moeller, and I talked to Moeller, and he was like,
Yeah.
in.
You need
So-
to have like Moeller would be good, but Moeller's like, he's almost too close, like it because it's his personal brand, like S&M and Fit. It's like you almost need like a J Row.
No, absolutely not. This
What
ain't
is it?
about J
Because-
Row.
because-
We ain't talking about J Row.
because Muller's an owner.
Like it's
Well,
about them
Muller's
too.
an owner.
It's
Well,
about them
about
too.
their history, sure, but like
Yeah.
the topic of sponsorship, like I
It's
feel
always
like with someone
subjective.
like Moeller, it's like it's like more personal than it might be with a lot of people because it is his brand.
No,
I
I
think
think it's the opposite.
I
I think it's the
agree
opposite.
with Demo.
It sounds like to me you didn't watch it. Nothing against
Listen
you.
to him,
But
dude.
the thing is, like he is right to his defense of like
Demo's
if he-
on Moeller's side.
No, well,
Siding with Mueller.
to be fair.
That's
No,
it.
cut this completely
I
out.
talk now. I
Cut
talk
this
now.
completely out and make it a separate.
I think either I'm going to if there is a big jump right now, I put a very interesting segment at the end of the podcast.
That's fine
so we
with
can
me.
get through the
You do
news
however you want to do
podcast,
it.
and then I put this massive tangent of
Yeah.
sponsorship and what is pro and life. Don't even you motherfuckers better
I
not
won't
say
go-
another
no,
word.
No, I'm not going to go down the road.
See, I took a drink. I was like,
And then
tangent.
It's that
What are you
it-
talking about?
Semantics and all this stuff, minutia details of and it could be at the back. It could also stay exactly where it is.
There's
so
people-
I don't
Put it
know.
at the
Don't,
back.
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
All
going
right, go
to feed
ahead.
in. I was just saying, I think, you started with Brad. I think it'd be cool to hear from him. Moeller.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Robbie would be cool
That's
to hear
Robbie
from.
won't do the podcast. Yeah,
Okay,
he won't
but-
do it. I've
yeah,
asked
but
him
still.
15
I don't blame
times,
him.
So
I think it's
fucking
interesting.
shit. He'll do the podcast. Fucking yeah.
I don't blame
All right,
him.
let's
I
hear
could,
it.
I could have some Dales and
Welcome
say
to
something
We the
bad.
People.
This dude is
I've
now I
badass.
already forgot the
Maury.
Is it
Lobster.
Murray or Maury?
Murray Lobes.
Murray.
Yeah.
Murray Lobster. Was that front back wheel like
Yeah.
in a G-turn type thing?
Yeah.
What a fucking boss.
Damn, is he pro?
I'm not even
I was
going to go
kidding.
down.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I just had to.
You're going
I
to
had
drive
to.
everyone nuts with that.
Dude, so
that
sick.
was so sick.
The pros get it.
Dude with the stair set at the bottom. Did you see that? Like, watch the. I mean,
This is
Boom, boom.
ridiculous.
look at the down 2 stair at the end. for the
Oh yeah,
Oversmith.
right there
Yeah.
too. Yeah, little squirrel trap. Little
I'm
demo
convinced he
trap.
can do everything
That
on
Chris
a bike.
Kyle
Demo
spot.
trap? What are you talking about?
Wow.
He can do anything on a bike, man.
God, he's so fucking good.
Is he like South Africa?
Yes. So we'll do the last trick too, because it is.
He is really like a little Simone and like who else? He's got like
Don't disrespect my man like that. He's himself.
What?
Do-
That's a
do
disrespect.
whatever.
He's himself.
Oh come on now, stop being so touchy.
I have to be, man.
Come on, play the game.
He's one
Shout
of
out
a
to Rich
kind, bro.
Swan's Mohawk.
He's a mix.
He's
Yeah.
one of a kind, bro. That
Yeah.
video is really good. If you guys
Mr.
haven't seen it, man,
Yeah.
check it out.
3 additional minutes of Murray just
Yeah.
ripping. And then so Eddie Baum, we actually dropped this. We did a premiere at Nora Cup, which we still haven't.
He's so good
Let's
too.
not talk about that. The time code is 3:29 and the video is 3 minutes and 13 seconds. So that's perfect. But lots of fucking heavy moves from Eddie.
Yeah.
Basically just
Nice.
tech, like
Switching the feet
rail,
around,
fucking, yeah. I'm not even going to talk
Yeah.
anymore. So, because we talked for like an hour before on
Yeah,
different
we ran
subjects. So, but yeah, Eddie kills it.
Dude.
Yeah.
He did that over opposite Smith, opposite Ice Heart 180 on the rail jam at Battle of Hastings.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, the Murray video, I mean, dude, there's so many good videos, obviously, but like the Murray video and the Eddie video are like, if you're looking for fucking banger bike riding, those are probably the two that you want to watch. Yeah. I mean, this is older, so I mean, Keep It Down section. So Diego's is fucking heavy too, but I'm assuming people have seen. I would hope that at this point we've been talking about
Very
this video
heavy
for
section.
so long that people should have seen this by now.
They should go back and visit that episode when he was on.
Yeah.
Come back
So-
like visit that. He talked about his process of filming.
and he has like such a cool video on deliverables, like Benthian's channel, about like looking for spots and stuff like that. So
I've seen some of that footage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
So I'm not gonna sit there and be like the incredible section, but I'm gonna show the love to Murray and Eddie. Jordan Aleppo, 55 seconds. Jordan Aleppo, aka World Traveler, most tan man in BMX.
He's been killing it, man. He's always killed it, but
Yeah.
3 manual, 3 manual,
Yep,
3.
you know it is.
What?
That was crazy.
Unreal. He used to be on
Federal, yeah. Shout out to Jordan. Where was that one at again? I always forgot because he was in like Colombia or
was in
something for a
Brazil, I
while.
think. Was it
So,
Brazil?
I think so. I did not see this, and if I would have, this is a collection of Instagram stuff. So Vic has been back to killing it, and it's like on his. I think we've talked about it. It's on his like girlfriend's account, so his Instagram name is like Bethany or something like that.
How
Like,
funny.
and she rides too a little bit with him, but obviously pioneer
of the Predator
grind inventor.
yeah. He is.
So
You
amazing
got
to
two
see.
Pioneer. You got the Pioneer we're watching and the Pioneer of the Can Foot Jam here.
That's true.
Yeah. I know Joey don't like to talk about himself. but
Cliche Jam we already discussed. 255 unseen Callan Stibbard stuff, which I would assume is about as timeless as it gets. I didn't.
yeah.
I saw the Instagram video, but I did not watch this yet.
He's just so good.
I'm gonna have to watch it. Yo, how old is this? Did you see this already?
Oh, I haven't watched it. I just seen. I like started to watch it.
Yeah, I think we posted the Nolly Crook. God damn.
It's Australia, man. Could be the beard too.
It could be.
Nah, but
Power beard.
he's really, really good.
Wow.
I like rails, but he's like a rail lord. Like he is.
What's
one of
That
the
was
lords
too
of the
easy.
rails.
How
Why?
good he did that.
This is my this is this clip, the one that it popped up, but we never seen
It
his
is
full
so
section.
sick. Wild.
What? This is a dumb question, but what is Nolly Crook harder than Nolly Ice? Nolly
Yeah,
Ice. Okay.
I would say Nolly Crook is harder because you have to go back forward and like get the crook and lock it in. Ice, you can like if you can get out there far enough, you can just lean back and ride it out.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it's easy, but I would
Yeah.
think it's easier than
Because you see more Nolly Crooks than you do Nolly Ices. for sure.
Yeah, I would say Nolly, like both are crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would think the Crook is wilder. What you think, Joey?
No
Yeah,
comment.
right.
You don't
Can't flip
care.
James
You don't
harder.
care.
No comment. No opinion.
We saw this. Sorry, my bad.
Shout out to
All right, honorable
1960.
mentions. These are both. I should have put probably Kevin's thing in here because kind of in this realm is basically this father son combo,
yo.
and the dad kills it, and the son kills it, and it's just like a wholesome little 16-minute documentary. And I will, if you end up seeing this, I will apologize to you because we put this video in our group chat for ourbmx, talked about how awesome it was,
and then didn't.
and then
post it.
didn't do anything with it for like 3 weeks. So I will apologize to them.
Yeah, shout out to
Corey,
them, yeah.
Corey and Owen.
Yeah.
The whole video was amazing, 16 minutes long.
Keep killing it.
And then I didn't watch this. I almost clicked on it today, but I decided to watch the Bruce Chrisman podcast
Wow.
instead. But I think it's like 1 hour and 9 minutes, 1 hour 39 minutes. Back in the pod for a Captain Radio episode, delving into deep topics such as personal struggle with iron deficiency, his mental health, and the link between the two. Rosie's passing, and then current state of animal bikes. So
I actually met Sinisi.
Oh, Sinisi.
For the first time.
First time.
First time.
After you rode for Animal for how long?
Since like 2015.
Crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
He is a man. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
he
him in
is a
like
man.
20 years.
He really is a man. I
can't believe how nice he is. How genuine.
Yeah, I like
sweet guy.
Joey's
Yes.
like, shout out to him for like, we had lunch the next day.
Yeah.
It was like sick, you know, like Joey, I guess he had obviously met him a long time ago, but he was talking about like, he met him at what, the Volume Ramps or Volume Warehouse
somewhere
was.
like that volume
Yeah.
or demo or something.
Yeah.
But he is really nice. Like he just,
Yeah,
He's sick.
genuinely nice guy.
He's such a, you just want to like impersonate him all the time.
Yeah.
After
Yeah,
you
he's
hang
like
out
a
with him for a
character.
little while,
Yeah.
like he's
Yeah.
just, he's like,
He's a
what's
character.
up? Yeah, he's just fucking.
He was like, we had lunch with him, and then we were like, oh, we got to go over to Mesrol to do something. And he's like, maybe I'll come with you. And then it turned into like, yeah, I'm gonna come. And then Harrison was coming with, and he was like, well, I'm gonna bring my bike just in case, like see something.
was like,
and then Ralph's like, maybe I should bring my bike. And I'm like, oh my god.
yeah.
And then I like got my cameras, and I was
Yeah.
like, dude, let me get a fucking Ralph Sinisi street photo.
Yeah.
And then like. It didn't work out.
Yeah,
like we ended
yeah.
up getting stuck at
Mesrol,
Mesrol, but
yeah.
it was like
it was
still just fun
sick.
hanging out with him for the
Yeah.
day and
Yeah.
like just cruising around with him. But it was like, I was like, let's go look at something. Let's go look at some setups.
yeah.
Like, give me a bunny hop, dude. Like,
Yeah.
that was what it is. It wasn't in the cards, but it was still cool to hang.
The first Canode podcast with Ralph is awesome. So I assume the second one as well. Bobby hit me up for questions with Ralph, and I was like, I think I have to hold on to him, like
Yeah.
just in case
Yeah,
the Ralph,
yeah.
just in case
Well,
the Ralph
come
on.
podcast ever happens.
Yeah,
like I'm
come
gonna,
on, man.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
hold on to him. So like,
Yeah, go to
it'll
Jersey,
be-
man.
I can't.
Go to
Yeah,
Grove
people have to
Street.
come
Go
to
to
San
Grove Street
Diego.
Bike Shop.
Yeah, you got to.
I don't want to break. I mean, we did the
I know where
the
he's at every
Durs,
day.
we did
Yeah.
the Durs podcast out there, and that was like the first time we like. Bro, I'm interested.
He's not going to fly. It sounds like. Doesn't sound like he's flying anytime soon.
I mean, yeah.
I asked him if he'd been on trips. He's like,
He
I
just-
do not fly.
Yeah, he
he's
just
like,
like-
this is my international
Hey,
trip, and we
Jersey
went to Brooklyn.
It
from
hasn't been on a
Jersey.
subway. On a train
That's what I'm
in a
saying.
long
That's why he
15
was like,
years.
Yeah.
15
he was
years.
like, this is
bro.
my trip.
I mean, I had a conversation with like 8 months ago about doing the podcast, and he was down, but I mean, lots of people are down, and it never works out.
You have
so
to go to him, dude.
yeah.
Go get us.
I mean, maybe I have to change the formula, but I like it being here. It's predictable.
True.
Everybody knows what they're gonna get. It's easy. It's less stressful for me because I have no idea if the camera is gonna fucking turn on. Like there's shit. So, but we'll see. Maybe we'll see what the response is for the Durs podcast, and if
Let them know, folks.
Yeah, if they accept the idea of like breaking the formula for very very special
Durs.
occasions. No, but like for like. It will not happen if we do not do it here. Then that's a reason to break the formula.
Yeah.
But
Something like Ralph would be cool.
I also feel like if I start doing that, then people just won't come here.
No, I don't think that's
What
true.
you
know
can
what I
do
mean?
is like you can go to Grove Street, and me and Joey will come here and just bicker about sponsor
go.
stuff, and
There
we'll
you
just
go.
cover all the ground.
Turn the cameras. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Fair enough.
You down? All right.
Yeah. All right, we're almost done. So Flair to Smith.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, ultimate spot. Ding.
We're in the group chat, aforementioned group chat, we were wondering if it was on purpose or.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because, well...
Did he post it and say it was on purpose?
I think it was...
If you look at it, he looks like he's really going to.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's just...
But then again, there isn't a lot of room. Like, but see, he could have... No, I think he did it. Because look, he could have went right. He could have moved right if he needed to.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Look at like he's not even close to that wall. But then again, there is like a scuff mark. It looks like he might have hit it. See, there's a scuff mark. Maybe that's why.
I like how Joey's arguing with himself right now.
Hey, man, this is how we do it. That's how you figure shit out.
In the end,
he did it. And that's what counts.
Yeah. He's from Chile. Shout out to him. He's friends with Wani.
He's chill.
Yeah.
Sam Grace at the SMP Park.
Dude kills it.
I wanted to go, but
he kills it.
I had to bail.
The bar?
That ramp is so big.
270.
Yeah. Place is so fun. Just in like a...
He didn't make it, so I'm going to drop back in.
It just in like a comical aspect.
Oh, that looks so fun.
So, shout out to Sam. I was a fan, but still a fan. Even more so now. So after meeting him. Burp. Deesh.
Beautiful.
If Dennis was here, I'd be like, I did that at Dude Tour.
Nothing to whip.
I think this clip is old, but we like stumbled on about via
this
one of those
wild,
like random like BMX accounts that like doesn't give credit and all that shit, and then we sorted it out.
Russia, dude, Russia's
pretty wild too because he landed on back tire top.
Yeah,
and I was like, hey, savage.
How
Shout out
would you
to
have landed?
I'm just saying how crazy it is that he
R10
landed on the down, but like how he landed made it harder. Probably.
Ooh, look at
that seems like a subtle flex to me, folks.
What is?
Oh no, not at all.
It's because Demo's pro.
Hey,
that photo.
What's crazy? I probably follow that guy. I follow a lot of people.
Oh, I don't think he. I don't think he.
So much love. Joey. Nope.
23 stair bar.
Jesus, he made it look so easy. Some people are just built to do big stuff.
I mean, they have the compression.
Dude, you saw how he just landed that?
Damn, he's wild.
Look at that scene, dude. Look how many people are there.
These Wolfpack jams were sick. Like Russia, like... I heard that stress still a thing?
It is, I think.
Can people still, like, from the States go to Russia to, like, go to an event? Can you go to Russia? They have to have a feast in Russia, right? That seems
no. I mean, Russia is like banned. So Russia, there was.
Like, whoa! So there's no Russian riders at the feast events.
I mean,
I think representing
Russia.
Russia.
I think they can come, but there's no like feasts like in Russia by any means. There's no Russian Olympic riders. You can go as like a federation or something like that, Federation of the World, and then like there is no more Russian embassy in the United States.
Whoa!
Because like, and you can't fly directly to Russia.
Remember, there was like an era where people were like competing in Russia, and like you guys were.
I went there like 5 times.
That's what I'm saying. There was like an era where people were going, and now not so much. I mean, I know now it's way different.
There's some sick footage. Like United went. I think like Christian went and killed it.
Yeah.
like it was like a lot of that stuff. Yeah.
Well, I think Christian with us. Did he go separately?
He probably with you guys.
Yeah.
I know he just like had footage.
Yeah, because is it Deadline that has like Russia footage? Like Garrett went with us and stuff. We just rented an apartment and stuff, and like I was like, you guys can just. I was like, I want you guys. We'll shoot an article, and you guys can film and whatever you want to use the footage for. I don't like. It doesn't need to be anything. So Christian has footage in like Market or something.
United.
Like is United. Yeah, United still United part, and then Garrett has footage.
Deadline.
Yeah, and so it was a wild trip.
That's sick.
So
Jared Duncan hanger.
Yeah. We gotta do the squeak.
Unreal. So good.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It's like you just wanted to keep going. You could just watch it over and over.
This was huge. Yeah, that was silly.
Yeah.
I sent you that demo.
Yeah, it is insane.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, it's a big 3. Like,
I was an anticlimactic response.
Dude, yeah. Big 3.
Yeah.
Like, I guess.
It looks
Big S3.
It
Big
is.
S3.
I don't know, man. Dan Lacey.
You think Lacey got this one beat?
I don't know
Look
if I
how
got
smooth
beat.
he was, dude.
That was huge. Like, you can't deny that. It's like,
Dan's definitely got
I
some
actually
big
can't even
S3s,
compare
though.
them. They're just all big. Shout out to anybody doing big stuff like that.
I think if Hoder would have done that Seattle 3, the step down, that would have been probably the craziest 360 of all time. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the one, like, he got it really good.
What is it? What is
He
the
did it
craziest
so good.
360 of all time?
What
I
is-
don't know, but I think that would have been
Ooh,
it.
man.
I saw it, I stumbled on that gap in real life. That
Crazy?
I've seen it in real life
It's
too.
baffling.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean the fact that he did it. I think the
Jimmy Levan.
sidewalk is chunky, and
Who
the fact
jumped
that
it?
he
Jimmy
did it
Levan
smooth.
jumped it.
Levan jumped it. Yeah.
But yeah, him 3 over that.
I remember Mulligan coming back with that photo, and he was like, "Oh my god!" Like so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Biggest 3 in
level
BMX. I'm going to go on a search list tonight, but it's going to be almost impossible to find it.
That'd be hard.
What is the biggest 3? Like drop or height or distance? What are we
Maybe
talking
Zach
about?
Gerber.
He could be a good
No.
one. Good contender for
Look at the
sure.
bar. He did the bar drop.
Oh,
What is
no,
it?
he did the bar. I'm thinking the
Yeah.
bar, not 3. My
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, that too. Crazy. One of the craziest bar, but 3.
Who's got big drops? I mean, yeah,
A lot of people, man.
He's done a lot of them, but he's
Oder's
also a
done.
big dude, so I don't know if he's done like those, like the biggest, like you know what I mean, like the
Like he went out to set out. I feel like he just on
Yeah.
the fly. He'll just do it if it's
Yeah,
right there.
he just has one.
Yeah.
Probably a contender,
He'll
but
just
it's
do
like,
it. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
For the people out there, Ooh, that's
people-
Who
Yeah,
has
what
the
is
biggest
the
3?
craziest
Show
three?
us.
little
Unreal,
cameo
bro.
from
Maybe
Captain, dude.
dude, speaking of biggest 3,
Yeah, he could be a
He
contender
could
for
be
sure.
a contender. Yeah. They just made that look like it was nothing, bro.
Yep, too easy.
How do you do that all the way to the end on an L?
Yeah, like he knew it was
man.
there. He knew where the
Yeah.
ending was.
yeah.
Some
So
people
shout
just
out to
built for
Ty.
that.
Yeah.
You got that Matt Clausen backwards ice at the dawn of the streets.
Best backward ice ever.
Yeah,
that was
it
so
was.
good.
That was insane.
Yeah, it was.
The very rare TikTok.
I saw
Oh,
this.
Yeah.
I
this
saw
is so
this.
sick. I love it.
So I figured it was China, but I think it's in Vietnam.
This is amazing.
Look at it.
This is
That one, dude.
Yeah.
That one, he saved the day, bro.
This kind of reminds me of when Darden talked about getting the athletes,
Yeah.
and he was saying they were like come from different sports, and he just like
Totally.
showed them what it was, and he just
We're like 10 years into that.
But
You know what I mean? That was like
Yeah.
10 years ago when he said that.
no,
Darden?
yeah.
Yeah, dude. I bet you it was.
He started to be the no. It was
it was
been
before
the
Tokyo.
Olympics. Yeah, he
Yeah, it was
was-
before. That's what I'm saying. It was before Tokyo.
but look at this. Look at this.
Dude, that did go
Look-
by fast. Now thinking about
That's what I'm
it.
saying. I bet
Wow,
you.
Yo,
that
I
was
bet
almost
you it was
Y'all
like-
stop arguing. Look at what is happening
Is this
in
China?
the. I think it's Vietnam because the language is Vietnamese. Look at that poor kid.
Is he?
He's like, I just want a go-gurt.
what is happening?
You got to earn that, bro. You got to earn that yogurt or
These
go-gurt.
kids are savage.
This whole Instagram account is like baffling.
Yeah, that they have like
This is
this
amazing.
many resources for like the youngsters.
Yeah. The fucking.
That's crazy.
Where's another one? I don't even know anymore. Like imagine if this existed for like street, you know, where it's like you got a little kid doing a hop truck or something like
As soon
that.
as there's
Yeah.
money in it, yeah, it'll be a thing.
It's
Well, I don't know. Is there
insane,
money in
like-
it now just because it's part of the Olympics? I don't know.
Within the country, I think so. Like I heard, I mean, we talk about it a bit in the Durs podcast. Like
And
the
also-
Yandan Wang, she's like on stage singing
Yeah.
with like the most famous Chinese pop star and doing promotions. She's fucking,
We also talked
yeah.
about it with the Jamie Bestwood podcast.
Yeah,
Like a lot of the
a classic,
Yeah.
a good one.
But like a lot of money comes into.
when they see
That's
that like these athletes like Charlotte Worthington
yeah, yeah.
and like being a part of the Olympics, it kind of like got the country behind them, you know,
Yeah.
which is they didn't quite have it before. So
The kids on the fucking on the push treadmill just dead, just can't even.
Yeah, crying, dude, tearing up.
What is? They're just
This is a thing.
it is.
the world.
Yeah,
the world is a
wow.
different place.
It is.
I think that's in.
Vietnamese
I
kids.
think that's in Vietnam.
I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
Vietnamese
I don't even know. Oh.
He just booted that drone. See ya.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You should dump it open. See ya. Wow.
Too good.
Whoopsie.
This is like the shit that we send in the group, but we're like,
Yeah.
I don't know if we could post it. Oh, this was fucking nuts.
What? No pop. He rolled off of that and did it perfect.
Oh,
Like,
right there. He's like, oh my god, I'm gonna die.
Dude, I like that he just cranked out.
He went it slow. He did it. He floated it.
Yeah, as soon as he landed, he was like, "I'm out of here. I'm keeping this thing going." He just started cranking.
So,
So sick.
Luis, we've talked about him on the podcast a bunch. He does just, I mean,
We did. I remember.
yeah. He fell on his first run, like on the very, very last trick, and then I saw him up on the sub
That was in
China. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
filmed
did-
that one.
What's up
so-
with the?
He did that on it was a few months ago too. It was like another contest he had failed, but his run was so
yeah,
insane.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like all or nothing type dude. Like, and he was just up on top of that sub, and it was like before his run, and he was like doing little run ups, and I was like, what is he?
Oh, man.
doing? I thought it was like a whip or something.
Does he
you know?
Does he ride
Flip
with
and not flare, and I feel like that's like there was one comment in there. It was like, I feel like I'm desensitized to flare drops,
Can
and I'm
you
like, that's not a flare drop, that's a flip drop.
Can you find out if he
Straight.
rides a coaster or a cassette? Because if he
He's on a cassette for
yeah?
sure, yeah.
Because doing that with a coaster, I mean, doing it either way is
yeah.
insane.
Oh, you mean like not having any? Pedal
He's got
pressure or
he's got
something?
pedal pressure for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to tell in that clip because he rolled off and he
Yeah.
does
It
look like he
did
doesn't
it.
pedal.
He does,
He
yeah.
did it perfect, but it's like,
Almost
yo, dude.
not.
Where's like the sub rail thing that he did? I don't even know. But yeah, he is sick.
No fake.
He
What-
is sick.
Dude, I was seeing the Columbia had like women riders that were really progressive. Were they still?
They have those Queen, the Queen and Liz, like Queen Saray and I'm
Sisters,
blanking
yeah.
on the name. Yeah, they're sisters, and
Twins.
they rip.
Are they
yeah.
going to those feast events or no?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
do,
They were
yeah.
there.
They're
Yeah,
out there.
Yeah, yeah.
They're-
It was a little bit of a hard go for them, but like one of them did was doing flip bars over the box, and the other one was doing this like mean like 450 over like a coping to coping hip, but like traveling. Did it in her
Nice.
first run,
Yeah.
and then the second one just like it fucking sent her. But like no dudes were doing that. Like Nick Bruce
Yeah.
was 270 in it, but she did like a
Damn,
450
yeah.
over
Yeah,
it.
that's
so
legit.
Yeah, it's so
it
sick.
was like, I mean, I don't get to see women's riding on that level in person very often.
Right.
But there was like a 15-year-old Japanese girl who flip whipped the box, and she had like a mean like Peraza pump. Where like
I
she
saw-
got
I-
like
yeah,
she
yeah,
would
yeah,
get
like-
low back and low, and like
It's
it was
unreal.
like
it is unreal.
it was sick.
Yeah.
So it was it's cool to see that shit sometimes,
no, it is.
like, and I was looking at Instagram and being like, fuck, I wish I was down in the streets, but also like I
get to
like
see
all
something.
aspects of BMX. Like
Same, same.
I'm down for it all, and like
I like it.
so Grant was going to Dots, so
Shout out to
was like,
Grant C,
yeah,
man.
made it an
He
easy
was one of the
decision for
filmers
me.
for
So
Borough Breaker Rally.
That's
yep,
right.
yep, plug.
Yeah.
Plug.
Oh, sorry.
Do it.
No, you're fine. That's what you're here for. Plug your shit. Saw this one, but we'll just give it one rewatch. Love it. Could be another repeat in here before we end it. This one was sick.
Oh, he do that G turn. Oh, dude, it's so good.
It's like a
Boom.
long G. The yell too.
How long did he try to do that for?
First
Good
try.
question.
It doesn't. I mean, he looks fresh.
Yeah, he doesn't look soaked.
No.
Yeah. So good.
Could have just been the right day. Could have been,
Yeah.
two
That
or
was
three
so
tries.
good.
Manual
Amazing.
into it. To manual into it.
Yeah,
That would have been a fire G turn by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't even a small like ledge to hop up to
No.
G turn either.
It's like wheel height.
Yep,
Oh yeah.
rim.
Man.
Did some crazy combo
that's
like
it.
3-whip on something he posted recently.
Oh really?
and
That
that
a
was
quad.
That,
bar.
but look. Wow, we have to watch.
that last bar was so late.
We get to see this again, but watch. It's like bar to bar back to bar back, bar to bar back to double bar to bar back. Oh yeah, I don't even know. It's the 4 bar
Yeah,
space.
how can you-
Unreal.
So-
unreal. I love it.
And then 2 more, and then we're done. This one popped up today, so I threw it
He
in.
kills it.
Yeah,
He kills
Marius.
it. He was also did the DAG double peg
Yeah.
at Copenhagen.
Yeah.
You talked about that.
Switch or opposite, I think. Maybe.
It was regular for him.
It was regular,
Dak's
yeah.
opposite.
Yeah.
No, it was Dak's regular as well.
Yeah, okay.
His left side.
The jerk.
So
Just keeps
Actually,
going.
this was opposite, huh? Actually, no. He does grind.
Yeah,
right
I
side,
think
and
it was opposite.
is his left side.
Yeah.
So
I think
yeah, it was opposite.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I wasn't gonna fight. You know, it's like one of those. I'm like, there's been so much fighting between Joey and you on this podcast. I
Demo
wasn't
needs
gonna
to be
fight you
right.
on it.
It's hard.
I wasn't gonna fight.
I'm listening.
Yo.
Hey,
That was crazy. That was far out, dude. That was real far out.
And this is just.
Oh
yeah.
man.
He almost over rotated that.
Yeah. This dude's
Unreal.
powerhouse.
Yeah,
So-
him and I'm pretty sure-
Andrea.
yeah.
Padaya.
Well, whatever happened to this is a completely different country. The other guy rode for Red Bull that will always do really tech stuff. And he rode park and he could just do like flat ground stuff crazy too. But he was
Are you talking about the Greek dude?
Kostya?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still doing it, but I
not
mean, if you're Russian and you ride for Red Bull, you don't ride for Red Bull anymore.
Oh, they like close it up. Damn.
Yeah. So I think from what I heard is that Red Bull said like, hey, you can't rep us anymore, and this is all hearsay. So
Russia.
you can't rep us anymore. We're gonna pay you for X amount of time. Hopefully, y'all sort your shit out. Second y'all of the podcast. And
I feel like I'm at home. I feel like I'm back in Georgia.
and see you when I see you. So they paid him through for a little while, but it and it sucks that like if we post a Russian dude, there's comments like oh, why are you
like
supporting
Ukraine.
Russia? And I'm
I
like,
see.
man, I'm not supporting.
it's
It's fucking bike riding.
No, it's bike riding.
like I'm not gonna like snub somebody because it's like snubbing somebody because they're gay or like it's like beyond their it's like beyond their control that the
That's
like
certain
And
things
it's
that
like
happen,
it's like
yeah.
snubbing
Yeah.
someone because like some random current political state that we are really not involved in.
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean.
It's
Like,
complete. It's a BMX. It's at BMX, not at BMX politics.
Right.
You know, like so. But
Let's talk
it
about
sucks.
sponsors,
It
you know what
sucks
I'm
that they get fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm
So-
thinking about those riders. Those riders aren't
Yeah.
at war with Ukraine. You know,
Same,
what
I mean, it's
Like,
the same thing with the Olympic stuff, like Kostya and
I have that ability
Eirik.
to bring it up and make you talk.
Yeah,
See,
Eirik-
we're doing it right now.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. Eirik was like on that path for the Olympics too, and it's like
So
Check out
so
that
Hopefully that
no
buffer
no
out.
Russian athletes are at the Olympics right now.
I don't think so.
Because a lot of the Russian
But
girls
there's-
were like were
Yeah.
on the up and up, and was like there's still I follow a lot of
Damn.
like Russian girl street riders that are like just doing the most
yeah,
ridiculous
they're
stuff.
crazy. Yeah.
And then with
They're kinda
even
on
some of
an
the girls
island.
that was on the park,
It's crazy,
the park
dude.
stuff. It was like you saw it, then it was like it did just stop, but
Yeah.
hopefully that buffer.
You see that Arseny kid, he gets out of there and goes to events and stuff like that, but I don't know what the reality is for them. So it's definitely a bummer because
Yeah.
I mean like Kostya was
Incredible,
incredible.
unreal,
You know, like he won the bakery event back in the day, the street bakery event.
Yeah.
And it was
Unreal.
like and he won Feast Best Tricks
Yep.
and stuff park events. Like he is incredible at riding bikes. So shout out to Eric. Shout out to Kostya. I know Eric watches the podcast occasionally, so shout out to you. You know,
Shout out to my man that just did
politics
the
is
Ice Hard 3. Like it
yeah,
was nothing
Volek.
real.
Volek, what's his name? Volek. So Demo
V
help me
underscore
out with that name.
Olex.
Is that Ukrainian flag? Is he?
That is Ukrainian. He is
Oh,
Ukrainian.
see, all
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
we're ending
So,
it on that note.
Yeah. So that's it for the podcast.
Yeah.
2 hours 57 minutes. I may leave that middle section in. May throw it at the end.
Yeah, I mean,
Who
like
knows?
I said,
Yeah.
if you guys, this is
I've
up
thought-
for everybody. Like, take it in.
I've thought about like subject-based podcasts for a while, and I have a whole list of them and all this. I have a Word document. It's called stuff that we never do. Like a good. I think it's literally called Good Ideas.
Chop it out and just throw that one in there.
I could literally search.
Good. I think there's room for that kind of discussion in the sport. I think it's helpful to have.
I do.
You know.
Project ideas that never happened is. I just searched the computer. Project ideas that never happen is. And so I have a huge list of stuff that I think about, and that's on there, and subjects and
I like it,
and video parts and breakdowns and just watching a video and bullshitting about whatever. So many ideas, but.
I do want to give a shout out to all the people in BMX doing all these sick events.
Yeah.
Not just ours, but like just all the stuff, like from Brett doing his jam, Dawn of the Streets, the Milwaukee one that's about to go down. It's like everybody literally making it happen, contributing. Yeah,
It
so
does seem
shout out
like
to you
there's a
guys.
lot of activity going on, which makes it rich.
September was crazy.
Yeah.
I like looked at the list this month and I'm like, oh, thank God it's not crazy.
pretty
Because
crazy.
if it was last month and we had that middle
deviation.
section, oh my God. So, but yeah, thank you guys for coming.
Oh yeah, thanks for having us.
Durs podcast next week. I think we have something else lined up. I can't remember offhand, and then I'm always wrong. And then shout out to Dales, shout out to Source, shout out to Demo, Joey,
Yourself.
Low numbers.
Yeah.
I'll do the. And then Borough Breaker Rally every Tuesday 11 or 8 a.m. PST because we're in California. 8 a.m. in the morning on the West Coast on Billy Perry's YouTube channel.
That's right.
Should be definitely subscribed to with
Stay
a million
tuned.
other people. So
It's gonna get good.
thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
But wait, there's more.
This because I think it was Brad that hit me up about wanting to do a podcast kind of about sponsorship and the general idea about it, the roles of a professional rider, et cetera, and I hit up and he brought up
discussion.
Yeah, he brought up doing it with Moeller, and I talked to Moeller and he was like, in.
You need to have like Moeller would be good, but Moeller's like, you know, he's almost too close, like it because it's his personal brand, like, you know, S&M and Fit. It's like you almost need like a J-Row.
No, absolutely not. This ain't about J-Row. We ain't talking about J-Row.
Because Moeller's an owner.
Like, it's about them too. It's about
their history, sure, but like the topic of sponsorship, like
it's always
like with
subjective.
someone like Moeller, it's like it's more personal than it might be with a lot of people because it is his brand.
No, I think it's the opposite.
I
think it's the
agree with
opposite.
Demo.
It sounds like to me you didn't watch it. Nothing against
Listen
you.
to him,
but
dude.
the thing is, like he is right to his defense of like
Demo's on Moeller's side.
No, well,
siding with Moeller.
To be fair, if you're gonna talk about it, you kind of gotta like I can't just lean one way to a perspective.
No, there's no right
like,
answer.
Well, the right answer only lies with the person that thinks is right. So if Moeller is talking about from his perspective and his company what he think a sponsorship should be, absolutely he's right. But if somebody have a different perspective of that, then absolutely they're right.
And then that's why they're off the team.
But the difference is, the difference is it comes in if you're talking about your point of view and talking about your perspective, the other person may not want to hear it all the way out, but they need to hear it to understand it. So that means that though I don't agree, I still have to listen to it out to make it make sense to me, and you have to hear me out so we don't have to agree and be on the same page. But it usually comes down to like, oh, this mean more to you. This mean more to you than it does to me, and that mean more to you than it does to me. Like it's just reversed.
People have their feelings on what's more important or like what's important about something.
Right.
You know?
And usually the conversation always gets stopped by it not being able to be fully expressed. And
because emotions.
Exactly. So it's like if you're able to express it all the way. I know like me and Albert and a bunch of people get into this conversation a lot about like the word semantics. I fucking hate that word. But
semantics?
But the thing is like that word get thrown out when somebody else don't want to hear you fully explain all the way and go through the perspective that you have on a topic. And it's like that may mean more to you. So it's important that you're able to explain that to who you may have the issue with. So that person that's listening need to be open to listening to the conversation, and it has to be reversed. So that's why I say if they came and sat here, it'd be, oh, okay, you have grown, you have changed. Like it just that time spent away from that actual situation actually happening. I think it won't be what people think it will be.
No, I think I was using Brad and Moeller as an example of controversial topic that was interesting to hear both sides of. I don't think that particular situation is really that interesting anymore. I mean, as far as Moeller and Brad,
I think the broader idea is though.
Sponsorship,
and I do kind of,
and I think from Brad it would be interesting.
I think Moeller. I've said this multiple times. Is Moeller? Think about Moeller's life and how many times people have asked him for free stuff.
Sure.
And how many times he's put a rider on a team and how many times he's let go of a rider, and how in the beginning it used to probably stress him out. 200 riders down the road, 35 years later, it probably doesn't bother him.
It does,
anymore.
dude. I'm telling you.
Well, it does. I know it does
for sure. It does.
I know. Yeah, that's a good point, because I think he talked, and I think he did.
And that's not even. It's no disrespect to any of them.
Yeah.
It's
but I think it elicits a certain. People think that it's going to elicit a response from him that it doesn't, because he's on a completely different wavelength with it, and he's had the dude. I remember mid days of ride, and ride office was 2 miles, 1 mile from the S&M thing.
Yeah,
Sherbo went to S&M and was like, "Hey Chris, I want to talk to you." And Chris was like, "Oh, I'm busy." And then there was like another one like, "Hey Chris, can we talk?" And he's like, "Dude, I'm busy." And then Sherbo was like, "All right, well then I'm off the team." And Mueller was like, "See you later." And then Sherbo came to the office and like vented. And it was like, I didn't know Sherbo. I wasn't like necessarily he wasn't talking to me. He was probably talking to Z or something.
Yeah.
But I remember it being like Sherbo being on S&M was a huge deal. And Mueller was just like, "Cool, see you later."
Right.
It just didn't bother him. But there are those people, I think he said it. I think he said shitty. Shitty really bothered him afterwards.
Right.
And
I think there's some instances.
There's some instances
personal.
that really bother him because he feels like, he really did pour a lot into that person and stuff. And
it's true.
So, but I think, it'd be an interesting conversation. And I think the other person that I brought up originally was Jaron, because I think Jaron's path to being a professional bike rider is way different than what I think, what Mueller thinks, what Brad
his
thinks. His
definition of a pro rider
100%
is kind of could be different.
It's like and I'm not, and I seriously do not mean this in a negative way, but it's like the only way I can describe it is like he's like an influencer that is really, really, really good at riding bikes. And I think
the only reason why I got, because you're right, but the thing is,
and I don't mean it in a negative way.
Yeah, I know that. The only reason why I would say no is because I saw the bloody shins. I saw,
of course, and we talked about the video part. We talked about Fernando and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like, but to be fair, like to your perspective, it's like, if we didn't say any of that, nobody would know that video could have, like, it's a thing. So if we eliminate that possibility of a video, we do just know him. When I say we, I mean like I know him another way and we know him differently. But to the world, you're right, fair enough. Like they're gonna be like, oh, like he's an influencer that's a really good bike rider.
Yeah, influencer. I think is just is an unfair.
It's a negative term, and that's what
it has a stigma around it. Yeah, for sure.
I didn't mean it like in a negative way. In any sense. The only way I can describe it though is like he's making his living by doing these short lifespan brand deals that are involved on reach on social media.
Yeah.
That makes unfortunately that makes you a social media influencer, and I guarantee when he leaves a BMX circle, he talks about being an influencer or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think,
so within BMX it's negative, but outside of that, that's just the way. That's just the way it is. I'm clarifying in my like.
No, I mean, I said,
influencer
the other side of it.
Has a weird sort of stigma to it.
I'm a content creator.
It is definitely. He took this path of being like a super good rider.
OnlyFans.
And then, just did a different path where it was less traditional, BM core brand involvement and more of those endorsements.
Yeah.
I do personally think it was forced. I think it was forced because of his situation. Like,
you just have to do what works.
Well, like the difference in him and being a professional bike rider, he wasn't deemed a professional bike rider by self. It's like the same thing if you're a professional bike rider. And I think to a lot of people, the professional word is like very controversial in the sense of like what you think is pro. To me, a pro is...
Doesn't mean anything. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. But
Like,
no,
there's nothing like it's not like skateboarding
Semantics.
where it's like you get a deck, you're a pro.
Semantics.
Yeah. Anyways, go on.
What?
No.
Because he said it doesn't.
People are
mean
gonna
anything.
like hate
Well,
that
no,
I
no,
say
I'm-
that. It doesn't mean
no,
anything because
I don't-
it does mean something.
Yeah.
Being a pro means something, but I mean like
It solves its
what
own problem.
No, it does mean something, but it's like the
Say what you-
definition
say-
of a
can-
pro
You
is
said
like
it means nothing or something.
No,
Come
let's
on.
hear it because it's
explain.
fair enough to hear because like you have like you need I want to hear this so we can understand like his perception of that and I can give you my perspective of it.
Well, because it's these unwritten rules, you know, like in skateboarding, it's like, oh, if you get
We're not
a signature,
let's leave out skateboarding.
It's an
Let's
example.
leave it out.
Just stop. Just stop. Hold on. I'm
right,
getting
go
to
ahead.
it. In skateboarding, it was the prime example is if you have a deck, you know. In BMX, for a little bit, it was, if you get a frame. Really, when I was younger, it was if you get a paycheck, you know, like if you're getting a salary paycheck, that was what separated the A team riders from the B team riders was like, did you get, you know, a check every month or did you get photo contingency and product support, you know? And even those guys in some cases were considered pro, but when I say it doesn't mean anything, it's like I only say that in the sense that it's always like an arbitrary wand wave from nobody that you're a pro or you're not a pro. There's no governing body. There's nothing. You're not on a list of anything. It's and you either complete in a pro class or you don't, or you have paychecks or you don't, but there's no designation or distinction or whatever that happens at one point. Like, oh, if you're a racer or something, you get enough points or whatever, you move through the ranks and then you get into pro classes, you know.
Right.
I guess in freestyle competition wise, you kind of can do the same thing, but in some instances, there's pro riders that never really compete because they're, you know, they're more film focused. So it's like that's what I mean in the
What's
sense
this?
that like
What is that?
print.
Exactly. How old is that photo?
I don't know.
You can tell that it's old, right?
Yeah.
Things shift over periods of time, right?
Yeah.
So the reason why I asked that is that like to you growing up and like if you idolize any pro, if you could name off, let's say 2 people, who would it be that was the epitome of a pro to you?
Well, I mean, it would be like X Games riders, like a Jay Miron or like a Jay Miron or Matt Hoffman. But those guys were on TV and they were competing in a pro class, which they qualified for.
Why were they a pro to you?
I just said it. They were on TV competing in a pro class.
So you didn't consider like a Castillo a pro at one time?
So funny.
No, I did.
But in my head, I was like Castillo.
I did
Why?
consider
But
him.
why,
But
though?
how would he have gotten? My point is, and I did consider him. And no, and that's the thing. Like I do. And my point is going back to Jaron. It's like, oh, you call him an influencer, you call him whatever. Like he is a pro level rider who can compete on the highest level of street riding, and he earns a living from riding. So whatever you want to distinguish him as is like he's
show riders.
Them too. I would consider them professionals, but it's all relative.
A lot of it is kind of like you said, it is loose and it's
like Michael Mogajon. He did shows for SeaWorld or whatever over the summer. Like I would consider Michael a pro rider. Now, are they in the same? And that's what's so weird is like there is no, you know, if you say someone's like a pro basketball player, like okay, well then that means that they compete in one pro league or another, you know, if it's NBA or if it's a pro league in a different country, but they compete in a pro league. Right. BMX, it's not like that. You can be a pro in this segment that is like is not governed at all.
The reason why I asked this question is because like me and Jared have had this conversation plenty of times about like there isn't really, like you said, like a real way if you choose to look at it from a certain perspective that there's no way you tell like, oh, this is a professional bike rider or not. I knew when I was a kid, and this isn't just from my perspective, I'm pretty sure from a lot of people's perspective, writing goals down, setting goals and things I wanted to chip off and things I wanted to do. Though I had a level of riding that could be considered me as a pro, because of my effort and the time I put in, I don't think I could be called a pro unless I was like acknowledged by people that could potentially give me a paycheck. I could have a signature frame. Even when I got a colorway, I didn't consider myself a pro. Right. But getting the frame kind of like added into that.
Some people think a pro part is what makes them pro, or like filming a full length part.
Well, if we break into when Ride BMX were doing the pro part, they weren't doing that with AMs. They were doing it with pros, and the pros were like made by whoever that company considered like this is a pro.
Depends. I mean, Ryan did parts
so
of
whoever's
AMs
on that
or
payroll,
But I
whoever's
think
getting
pro part was like supposed to be like, because I think there was one instance where the dude wasn't pro, but it turned him pro.
Sure.
yeah.
So it was like
a lot of it would be subjective, but
It's subjective.
Yeah,
That's
but
a
the thing
good
is like
description for it.
what makes it a little different is that like, do you like gatekeepers?
Oh, that's me.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, you know.
No. It's a simple question. It don't have to be tied to any one thing.
No,
It's
I don't like gatekeepers.
Okay,
For sure.
if having some kind of structure to something that shows like, if you have a person that's an AM or a person that's on a flow team, if you put them on a trip with somebody that's like considered pro, and let's just say if the trip is based around these guys that are pro and they're supposed to be filming something, right? And then you have a AM guy on the trip. The AM guy could very well kill it, shut everything down. But what generally happens is like, if that guy is, or girl, whoever it may be, if they're on this trip and they're taking time away from maybe these pros that like supposed to have this position, it could cause a rift, because if this person that's an AM, literally is an AM, doesn't get a paycheck but consider themselves as a pro, it can cause an issue where it's like, so how is it that if I'm a professional bike rider and this trip is based around me coming here to film, but this person don't know that this is based around me, but this person consider themselves as this, that can cause a huge problem, because there's nobody keeping this a structure. I take pride in being a pro because I earned it. I know where I came from. I know the effort I put into it. So for me, I have to ask these questions in this way, and I have to explain it this way, because like, every person's path to being a pro isn't just so like, it just doesn't matter. That's not saying what you're saying is wrong. It's more so like, oh, wait a second. Because I remember watching X Games when Mira had to go a bike, and I was like, dang, I want to be in the X Games. I want to have X Games medal. I didn't say I wanted to be in the X Games when I was a amateur, or like,
No,
it was like, to me, there was like, maybe a
gray
path
area.
that wasn't designed, that there is no path to it, but it's more so like, okay,
It's
cool. Once you start to learn about it, it's like, oh.
But see,
There's stepping
you
stones.
sort of, in a way, though, like you kind of like said, you saying that you earned the pro title, and
When I say earn it, I mean self. Like, I feel like I
Right,
put
it's in
time
your-
in and
yeah.
earned it. But I would never call myself a pro when I didn't have that, or I wasn't acknowledged by a company.
the
calling
thing,
me a pro.
the film instance you brought up, I think, is a little bit weird, just because I think an AM being on a film trip with a pro,
Have an
and
AM
wanting
calling you,
wait,
telling
hold
you to
on.
send him
And
the bike
wa-
parts and see how that
No,
goes.
and wanting, I've had
You-
that happen, dude.
Yeah,
That's
did you
part of
send
the
him
game.
out though?
Nah, depending on
those
who
parts-
it is, yes,
those parts
dude.
are
What are
go-
you talking
those
about?
parts are gonna be
Yo,
more-
you're like almost offending me right now. Like, yes,
Really? The parts
no,
that-
we send parts to up and coming AMs, dude. Like that
no,
is
that's
the game.
That is
Like,
good. That is really good. But what I'm saying is like, if you have, let's
Dude,
say,
man.
if you
I'm
have
gonna
a
put this
chat-
out there. Hey, if you're an AM rider, you can fuck with pros, and you can clip up on pros, and you can get camera time. Don't let anybody say you get
absolutely
less
can.
camera time because you're not a pro. No, that is a label that is given to You won't even say you're yourself a pro. Like, it's
I
ridiculous.
agree with everything you just said.
I'm
'cause
just like,
everything
it's all hot air, dude. Like, I mean, I respect riders that have earned their place at the table, and people like Amira or a Matt Hoffman. Those are clearly exemptions, because
Right.
a Garrett, a Dennis, a Chad, they have competed for decades as pro riders.
Okay.
There's only 6 or 8 or 10 of those riders on the deck. So we can't say that those are the only 10 pro riders in the sport.
So
it's
out of those
different
pro,
for those guys.
that's a good
But
good point.
filming wise, it's not different. It's a gray area.
You're right. The reason why I bring this up, and I agree with everything you just said, every AM rider should try to get camera time and should do those things. I didn't say they shouldn't. I'm just pointing out the difference in, and I say the parts. If you have a pro guy that is a pro or premier guy for your company, and he needs that last part, are you going to send it to the AM guy? Or are you going to send it to the pro guy?
No, true. I guess
no,
you know
don't
what-
do it. You have to answer it.
Wait, hold on. No,
you
it's like,
have
if
to
there's-
answer it.
No, if
there's
we're going to do it
examples
this
in
way,
history
if we're
of
going to
this.
do it this way,
Yeah.
and this is fine. No, if
But
we're
I
gonna
think
do
these
it-
conversations are great,
This
though,
is
by the
fine.
way.
If we're going to do it this way, then what you have to say, if we're going that way, oh, it's product, and who are you going to send it to? You only have one left.
That's an example.
Then a pro is somebody who's a contracted deal with a company, and
Yeah.
sponsorship is
have some
a
contracts,
business agreement between a rider and a brand. And if
Yeah.
both sides aren't doing what they agreed to, then
That
they
contract
should
breached.
get kicked off of whatever they're doing.
I agree.
So
I agree with you.
sorry, You know, like
don't take
it's
me
never
saying this
it's
is
never like
bad.
a friend hookup or, hey, I've been riding for you for 5 years. That doesn't mean shit. If you're not riding right now and you're not pulling your weight and you're not selling and moving product, that is why you're not getting on a team, or that's why
I know
you're being
where that came
asked to
from.
leave a team.
Good
No,
job.
you know
I
what
don't.
it is? It's hard for these
It's inside. They don't
businesses.
know.
I'm going to stick up for them.
You
Like,
know,
it's
you know.
hard for these businesses to keep their doors open. And you have to think, I told Dennis this once, he's like, I don't know. I'm like, look at it like this. If you want to be a sponsored rider, think about bringing in 10 times the amount of money that they're paying you. If they're paying you $1,000 a month, so $12,000 a year, you should be bringing in $120,000 into that company. I'm serious. If you're really talking about paying for things, you want to earn your place at the table, think of it like that. And if you're not bringing in value into that sponsor, into that brand, why are they paying you? Why are they giving you money? And
That's
if
a
you,
very valid point.
I've been moving, or I broke up with my girl and I lost my job. I haven't been able to film for 6 months, but I'm about to get on it. Yo, you haven't honored your deal for 6 months. And they've been
That
sending
is
you checks the
very
whole
accurate.
time.
Yeah.
So like, why is it okay for them to send you checks and for you to not ride? And then when they kick you off, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I paid my dues. No, it's not about what you did in the past. It's what you're doing
You're right.
today and what you're agreeing to do tomorrow to help promote this brand in coordination with all the shit you want to do as a
Yeah.
rider. Like, it's a two-way street. It's not just the rider working for the brand, but you know, riders get confused. It's like, oh, why did this go like this? Well, it's like, dude, that cash
Because-
money has to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's not $1 for $1. It's no, that brand needs to bring in $10, pay rent, pay bills, pay the employees, pay taxes,
Insurance,
and
warehouse,
then,
It's a lot.
shipping.
and then
Yeah,
there has
yeah.
to be the dollar left over to send to the rider. And it's
Yeah.
like, yo, like, it takes a lot of money to bring that in.
I mean, I agree with you 100%. And the reason why this is extremely important is because you have to have these different perspectives for people to kind of like,
I mean,
grab something.
The reality of being a company owner may be slightly shocking to like the
It's
riders
hard,
in
dude.
the end. You
If
know,
you have, like,
the,
you
the
have so
numbers
much
being
money.
I don't know them,
Dude,
like,
it's
but I know,
cutthroat.
I know. I have a business, but I have a home business,
And I will
have
say
and
this.
I have like little overhead.
I will
Like,
say this: the more corporate you get, the less forgiving and the less understanding they are about overspending or over supporting. So like a company like S&M, Colt, you know, Shadow, Sabresso, like rider-owned companies, those guys are always going to give more support than is probably justified on their books, because they want to support guys. They want to see cool shit happening.
and it's a little bit of a bet. You think
but
maybe
too-
it'll come back,
but
too,
too-
you know?
Too,
Like, yeah.
support also is more than just financial.
Yeah.
Like, I think like even being acknowledged, being appreciated.
I may have to
and
like
being-
cut
and-
this
and-
out and make it a different segment here, because
No,
this
I
is
no,
good. This is good.
It is
but-
good because like
Yeah.
I knew that was Joey's perspective
Yeah.
on pro, because we had the conversation
Yeah.
before, and my approach to that will always be that I must earn, and the only reason why that exists is because of my route to being a professional.
Yeah.
And if I'm standing next to a person that consider themselves as a pro, it's not up to me to say, oh, you're pro, you're not pro. Like
Right.
it doesn't you can just pick up a bike and
Well,
you just went and got the kit from Forever 21.
I think sometimes it's once they're pro, they think I have arrived.
No,
Right,
and
yeah,
that the
right.
works and that the
No,
work
that's
stops.
a great point. That's
Yeah,
a great
no,
point.
it does.
And
Yeah,
that's-
you're right.
and
That
that's-
does
they're
happen
like,
for a
hey,
lot of people.
I
Yeah.
made it. I'm on the fucking
Right.
yacht.
And the
You know,
thought,
like-
the real
you're
thought
right.
should be is I made it. Now
How do
here's
I
where
keep
the
it?
work
Keep
starts.
moving
Yeah,
forward.
like
Yeah.
this is where now it's not about just me and what I'm trying to achieve
Me
as
and
a
Albert have
rider.
this conversation a
Yeah.
lot. Like we talk
And
about
if-
this a lot.
I think, I mean, if you find the right balance, it's a perfect situation. The sponsors should be supporting what
I
you're
think-
doing as a rider, and it shouldn't be, you shouldn't have to change much about what you're doing.
I think almost in a sense, like Jaren's world could almost be easier because it's like he's holding to views and like and stuff like that, where you have a DeMarcus frame, and it's like there's other factors. There's the company's distribution. There's when they got them versus anything, the price point, all this stuff, and whether the sales guys are pushing it and whether the bike shops are overstocked at this
Yeah.
moment. You know, there's so many like other factors out there.
Well, I'll speak from personal experience
that
about
come
that.
in and then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, Demo, your
Me and
frames
Joey
aren't
actually
selling,
talked about that
you know?
like not too long ago.
So
we're talking about like
Jaren's World is easier.
How
in
the
a
sales,
sense. Like the video is awesome. They
less-
love it. It's got some views. They can repost it on some other shit.
Yeah, like well,
It's
Joey
way more lifestyle focused.
Yeah.
Well,
you
Joey
know?
just pointed out like something really good that me and him talked about not too long ago, and it was about like you brought up like the rider should sell a crazy amount of product or whatever.
10 times is probably way overkill, but
no,
it's,
no,
it's
but
that was a shocking
but
number.
it was pretty crazy.
Dude, I think if you think about
but
taxes
it's a
and
good,
bills, dude, and margins, it's probably not that far off.
But it's a good point. The reason why I'm making that point is because I on both sides of it currently is like if me riding for volume, having a frame or whatever, and it's like, oh, that's cool. Like you get a frame. If the frame sell, if it don't sell, you will know whatever.
Yeah.
So talking about like how you rank payment or how you rank your position at a company. If I'm a part of Adidas as a company, they ain't ranking my value off of like how much stuff I sell. It's more so like the amount of exposure that brings to the company. Yeah. And I wouldn't have ever known that not if I wasn't a part of it. So me knowing that now, it's like, well, maybe from a core standpoint of it, then like you said, like if it's a bigger company, there's room for that to not really be. And that doesn't mean that the core side of it have to shift and make that same thing. You have to have the core in order to have the other side of it. You have to have all these different aspects, and companies don't all function the same.
No,
but
they have different wants and different focuses.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess I'm speaking directly from a rider standpoint when it comes to being a part of a company. I'm not going to go to a company and say, give me a crazy amount of money if I know that this company may not have it. But also I have to look at the leverage. It's like, well, if you're Joey Cobbs, the face of a company, and the person working in the warehouse make more money than you, is that strange to you or not? But you're doing everything you're supposed to do.
It depends.
No.
You know, if you're trying to get started,
it's just straightforward. Like, does it make sense to you or not? Not 30-year-old Joey or 39-year-old Joey, 20-year-old Joey.
What do you mean? If I
that means that when you're
the dude who's in the warehouse,
no, saying like if you're a face of a company and who you are at the time.
Oh, you mean as like a sponsored rider?
As a sponsored rider.
Oh, sure.
Let's say if you're a pro sponsored rider.
See, that's another thing.
20-year-old Joey doesn't need the same thing as 30-year-old Joey.
Just
and 30-year-old Joey don't need the same thing as 39-year-old Joey. So when you get older, sometimes things shift, such as the conversation will be between Brad and such. So over that course, it'd be like, oh, well, maybe I was tripping. Or maybe not. Because I understand it differently.
It depends.
So if you put it into those
you
perspectives, you have to look at it from every angle.
True, but the way you phrase it sometimes it can be deceiving in the sense that if say, oh, I'm the face of a company and I'm getting less than the warehouse guy. Well, hold on. You say it's a frame company or whatever, parts or clothes, whatever it is. That's one aspect of your sponsorship group.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I think it's a misconception or not very fair to think that one company would be responsible to pay for your entire existence.
No,
like one
no,
endorsement. That's where
yeah.
I think like, oh yeah, I might make less than the warehouse dude, but that's from this one sponsor source. And I've set up a deal that, you know, maybe, it's $2,000 a month. And that guy, he brings home $4,000 a month, but that's his full-time job.
Yeah.
And this is one of half a dozen sponsors that I have. Collectively, I make $16,000 a month. But, if I want to say, in this one instance, that dude makes more than me at this company. And you're like, yeah, but that company's not responsible. And a lot of riders will fall into that trap where it's like, oh, I'm financially struggling, pay me more money. And it's like, well, we already do pay you. And we're not meant to be 100% of your income.
No,
we're meant
you're
to be a section of your income, and that's up to you to make up your income because you're an athlete, and you're an athlete that exists off endorsements, not off of a league that you get paid to be a part of.
Right, BMX isn't a league, yeah.
Right, and like say NFL, like you're not really paid to be in the NFL. You're paid to be in the NFL because the NFL sells tickets and they sell merch, and that's the vehicle that they bring in all this money.
Right,
and that's how they get and the athletes are the talent that bring in the.
So nothing about
views.
what I'm saying is deceptive. It's more so just like
if you're saying one thing to one thing, I think that can be deceptive. One sponsor to one person's earning at that company is deceptive.
No, so I think if
it is,
you have a group of people, like if you have whatever team it is, and you have these guys on the team, it's like obviously everything works together to sell product, right? That's the whole goal. You sell the product. So if I see me and Joey on this pro team together with like two other guys, and we're on let's say a shop stop tour or something. Somebody see me and they're like, damn, what kind of bike is that? It's like, oh, it's a such and such. And they're like, okay, cool. I might want to buy one of those. They may not buy the bike that I'm on. It may be my bike. They may buy a Joey bike, but they bought it because of that.
Yeah, your interaction.
Exactly. It's hard. It's almost impossible to track that.
True.
And this is the part about like the whole like deceptive thing. Is like there's nothing about it deceptive. It's more so you have to approach it from every angle and see it. That's why I say what you're saying is extremely important.
You asked if it's okay if the warehouse guy makes
because
more money than
the warehouse worker's value is in front of your face.
You see it. You can
if
you're an honest worker,
where the rider's value is kind of wispy, you know.
No, it's true. It's harder to measure. And you're right.
It's hard to measure, and I'm only speaking from me. Like I can't speak for how.
I can't believe that kid bought a Joey frame though.
Yeah, he would have bought a Joey frame. Hey, he's the inventor of the
This is how we know this is a fictional
down
story.
The fucking stairs.
No,
so
that was
Biz,
true.
but Joey was second.
No, that was not
well,
true.
like to be fair, I've never
did the
felt
how-to,
that I
then
should get
fine.
paid more than a worker. I never felt like I should get paid more than a person working in the warehouse or anything like that. But if you're an honest guy, I've heard so many times. But if you're an honest guy,
it makes you think. The statement makes you think for sure.
Right.
But if you're one of those guys that really do check all the boxes, like you are doing current day, you are the social media, you're filming your video parts, you're checking off all these boxes, and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Literally treating your sponsorship or whatever it is like an actual job. And if you say, "Hey, I want a few extra $100," it shouldn't be up for question. It should be like yes or no. And if it is a no, well, I want to. How can we figure this out to make it work? And if you can't make it work, all those things are fine, but it has to also be received on both ends. It's not just like, oh, yo, you can't give me more money. F you. It's more so like, oh wait, why?
I think there's an issue when you have, and I feel like I always get myself in trouble.
Sorry.
No, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I mean,
this is good.
They don't work with us anyway. So, but like when there's companies that have, like Shadow and Sabrosa, that's Mark Burnett. Like for a while, it was like they had Shadow and they had Sabrosa, and they ran them completely different. And then eventually they started to bring people in. We're like, hey, we want you to ride for both brands. Because we can go on trips, we can capitalize the most on everything, and it just makes more sense this way. But when it fails, you get somebody like Burnett who gets left Sunday to go ride for Sabrosa, and then he has no sponsors essentially.
Yeah.
And when you're now riding parts and frame for the same company, you kind of lose that like
versatility a little bit.
The cross promotion, the edge.
And like, hey, I need a couple more bucks, but you're not asking two people, and you get like a double raise or something like that, or they're like, hey, can I ride tires or can I ride this? You can't ride for anybody else because they've kind of like full factory like head to toe, valve stems to bar ends or something like that. That's a good phrase right there. I made that up.
That's amazing.
and then it's like, then you don't have anything, you don't have anywhere else you can go except for like apparel and stuff like that. And it's like, man, like I just don't think that has always worked, because if the relationship kind of falls apart, you're kind of put all your eggs in one basket. And I think that's a hard thing where we have like, I just use Burnett as an example because shit didn't work out. His fault, their fault, I have no fucking idea. But shit didn't work out. And then it's like he's dejected because he has no more bike sponsors.
Yeah. Like that's where it comes back down to. Is like,
and now is a Mark Burnett not pro anymore?
Yeah. 100%. And he's a fucking amazing bike rider.
But he's like a pro level rider, but
top
it's like
one.
I would say he still is.
I
would say from myself being prideful of being a pro, I would consider him still to be a pro. The reason why isn't because just a paycheck, because he already earned it.
Yeah.
He didn't retire.
You get into like very, very gray area.
No,
you don't stay a pro forever.
But I can only speak from me living in it. I'm not speaking from not doing it. This is only from my perspective.
I think if you're participating and you're feeding into it, then that's the key thing. And I know when I said earlier, you should bringing in 10 times the value, whatever. That sounds crazy.
No, I get what you're saying though.
And some
sponsors,
it's
the comments on Instagram are going to be like,
they're going to be like, I bet these guys fight like this all the time.
No, and some of that though is brand exposure. I mean,
Yeah.
sponsors have different emphasis, you know, and I think it's just being aware of that is what's important for
Yeah,
riders. A lot of times there's
yeah,
a
for
disconnect
sure.
where like a rider might get dropped or something happens and,
So you
and
can't
they
be-
have no idea like
But
why.
the
or
reality
blindsided.
is that the bigger the brand, the less value they put on the like that person's sales that they're creating for
True.
the company.
No,
Because
that's
because
true.
when you have like a Monster
Yeah, or
something
Vans
like
or something
that,
like
it's
that.
the overall
Total.
brand appeal, and it's
It's
like,
Yeah, yeah,
brand
yeah.
but
presence
when
and
it's
all of
like
that.
when shit's going good, and then
Yeah. I
and
think
then
I'm
when,
talking
and then
more-
if shit falls, then they're gonna start trimming.
Yeah, that's
the
what you're
fat,
saying, like
and
the
that's
core- the
always
smallest
talking
side
a
of
little
like
bit
a-
more the core
yeah, the
sponsors,
core
yeah,
sponsor.
where it's
Yeah.
like it is
It
literally
isn't
their
tricky, but it is
way-
pretty transparent. Like I agree with that because it's like you can't treat them the same, right? You have to like that's when I say as the rider, you have to kind of like also take the shift and like you said, looking at your position and looking at, am I doing this right? Am I crazy for asking this? Because if you don't do those things before you go and like express your perspectives of it and not be able to receive like maybe what comes back with it, then it serves literally no purpose.
Well, and it's what I say too is just a matter of like,
podcast is so
I know
long.
it's crazy. I'll like let it go after this. This is a
long?
lot.
I
It's a
love
matter
2
of
hours,
like
20 minutes.
sustainability. You know, when I say, oh, the company riders should
Get
look at it
separated.
like, are you bringing in this value and that should justify your space on a team? It's
a lot of dudes don't want to hear that. They'd be
well,
like,
and it's
"Oh,
not
no."
about like, oh, it's not about trying to, it's just a matter of like, that is the equation or like that should be the frame of mind for those smaller companies to like
Yeah.
try to keep it going. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I've known situations where it's like, you know, sponsorships are ending and people are wondering, is it something I did as a
yeah.
rider? And in some cases it might be, but in some cases it's literally like, no, the company only has so much money to work with. And if their sales are down or aren't what they were last year, it's like they can try to hang on to their team as much as they can. But then it's like at a certain point, like they need to let go of team members to keep the lights on, you know, and a rider might think, oh, I've been doing everything right. I've been progressing. I've been shooting
called bad luck.
photos. It is, dude, there is a bunch of that too. Is timing. There's a lot of elements to this. I mean,
It
and
is
it
a lot
could be
of
like
elements.
tariffs from China or something screw shit up and it makes it to
Yeah.
where the bikes don't sell as well. And then
Yeah.
that sponsor now
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
have as much money. And it's like, so saying, oh, it's a 10 times the amount. It's just a frame of mind to think like what
You should
pays
think
for a
bigger. Yeah,
rider,
yeah.
what pays for a rider. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like, oh, they need like more or less 10 times the amount of money they're going to pay you to even have that money available to
Yeah.
give you, you know? And so I think that's kind of was my perspective.
I mean,
we had that conversation. We
Yeah.
literally
Just hard to
had
keep a
that,
team,
that
dude.
sponsored
It's
conversation
expensive.
without even getting
Yeah.
somebody.
It's
And that was
funny.
kind of why we wanted to do these events, you know, that we're not sort of
Stop
relying.
plugging the fucking event.
I know, but it's true. But it's not relying so heavily on, you know, a frame brand or a parts brand. It's
He's
like
not putting all the
it's
stress
so
on
hard for
one
those
thing,
like
so it's,
entities to keep the doors open and keep their teams going and all that stuff. So it's like
In the end, a rider is a marketing tool, and whenever shit gets tight, marketing is always the first thing to
Right.
get cut. They're not going to turn off the fucking lights.
Right.
No,
They're
yeah,
not going to
yeah.
fucking
Right,
turn
they're not
off the
gonna start
water. They're
cutting
not going to
utilities.
fucking ship the guy that ship, or
Yeah,
not the
warehouse
guy that
guys
ships
still
the
need
product.
to
my
be there.
They're
and
gonna
my,
cut, they're
my
gonna cut
point to
marketing.
that.
They're gonna cut my shit
Totally.
and then they're gonna cut riders
Yeah.
afterwards, and that's the way it works.
Yeah.
And as a rider,
don't-
I will
and
say,
as somebody who's been dumped a fucking 100 times, it's
as a
okay.
rider, I will say, if you are listening to this,
I probably lost a sponsor on this podcast.
no.
If, bro.
Yeah,
Gain some.
I will say if you're a rider and you're listening to this, and if you can resonate with anything or any of what we were talking about, it's like you can approach it with the open mind. You can approach it with like strong feelings and emotions about it. You just have to make sure that if you want something out of anything that you're involved in, make sure that you are fulfilling that part that you want. You're over fulfilling, but
Yeah.
also be willing to understand that like things aren't just gonna go your way, and they're not gonna go the way you want them to go all the time. But if you get dropped, you get let go. The biggest part of that is like understand and try to like have the transparency, and also try to be accountable for whatever may happen, but also being open to growth and understanding that it just doesn't work out sometimes. And
Timing is
and
important.
to the company owners, as a rider, riders would love, and I think a lot of companies do. They are transparent, but a lot of people aren't.
No, yeah,
a lot of companies are
bad
extreme-
communication.
And let's break it down. It's not maybe just companies. It could be maybe one person, two people.
Totally.
It could be miscommunication,
Yeah.
misleading of communication. But generally, the best thing you can do in any situation like this is to hear the other person out, make sense of it, and then maybe that person can hear you out. It doesn't mean that something great would come out of it, but you guys are both separate and understand that, like, oh, well, this just isn't working out. Doesn't mean it won't work out better in the future, but you have to go through this.
Upwards.
Be willing to go through it
Well,
and
and
not be so jaded by, maybe that it just didn't go the way you want to go.
I'm gonna put a fucking timer on.
Yeah,
you.
that's it.
1 minute.
Well,
I was
that's
gonna
it. I just had to say it.
Well, no,
I
I think to add to your thing too, to any riders listening, it's
We
like
can make this a separate one,
lean
too.
into your own style and your own approach. It's not like, oh, how can I cater or how can I change to try to sell products? Like, no, brands are interested in you because you're unique or you have a creative presence in the sport and like whatever your particular offering is. So it is like brands are looking for riders that break the mold,
Flow
super
riders
talented,
and
but like have their own approach and are unique. So it's like, riders should just continue to just evolve in their own way and find their own style. And that's what'll get them attention from brands and all of that stuff.
4 seconds.
Yeah.
But
It gets crazy, dude.
I'm just joking. Is there no more?
That's
no
it.
more. I
cut this completely out.
I talk now.
Cut this completely out and make it a separate.
I think either I'm going to if there is a big jump right now, I put a very interesting segment at the end of the podcast.
That's fine
so we
with
can
me.
get through the
like
news
however you want to do
podcast,
it.
and then I put this massive tangent of
Yeah.
sponsorship and what is pro and life. Don't even, you motherfuckers better not say
go-
another
no,
word.
No, I'm not going to go down the road.
See, I took a drink. I was like,
And then
tangent?
It's that,
What are you talking about?
Semantics and all this stuff, minutia details of and it could be at the back. It could also stay exactly where it is.
There's
so
people-
I don't
Put it
know.
at the back.
Don't.
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
All
going
right,
to
go
feed
ahead.
in. I was just saying, I think, you started with Brad. I think it'd be cool to hear from him. Moeller.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Robbie would be cool
That's
to hear
Robbie
from.
won't do the podcast. Yeah,
Okay,
he won't
but-
do it. I've
yeah,
asked
but
him
still.
15
I don't blame
times,
him.
So
I think it's
fucking
interesting.
shit. He'll do the podcast. Fucking yeah.
I don't blame
All right,
him.
let's hear
I
it.
could have some Dales and
Welcome
say
to
something
We the
bad.
People.
Now
This dude is
I already
badass.
forgot the
Maury
Is it
Lobster.
Murray or Maury?
Murray Lobster.
Murray. Yeah.
Murray Lobster. Was that front back wheel like
Yeah.
in a G-turn type thing?
Yeah.
What a fucking boss.
Damn, is he pro?
I'm not even
I'm
going to go
kidding.
down here.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I just had to.
You're going to drive everyone nuts with that.
Dude, so
That was so